Yes, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. Unfortunately, you are joining another show where, oh God, look. You know when I said, how long do you reckon until one of us gets cussed? Look, didn't even make it past the intro and someone's called me a tiny rat boy. I've not heard that one before. That's nice. 19 pal. Hello, 19 pal. How are you? Hope you're well. Unfortunately, another defeat for Tottenham Hotspur, another embarrassing display, and I feel like we're running out of issues here. Players are back fit. Manager's had time now. He's still making bad decisions. I'm just not sure where we go from here. I'll get everyone's take on the game, and then we'll have a free for all. Please subscribe to Johnny over at Football Inc., the channel that shall not be named. I never know why we say that, but the channel that shall not be named. Please subscribe to the Hotspur Hood. Please subscribe as well to Mr. Stelios on Spurs. And if you haven't subscribed to me, please do. Guys, let's start. I'm just going to assume you're all well, unless anyone's got any deeply personal issues they want to discuss on YouTube. Good. Let's start. Anyone can take this if you want. Look, at the end of the day, another tough defeat for Spurs. Whichever way we label it up, whatever positives we want to try and throw at this is now our worst run. I don't know how many years, but I saw today earlier it was something ridiculous. Our worst ever top flight run. It's 13 games without a win. We've got 1 point from Igor Tudor from 5 in the Premier League. We've conceded 13 goals in 5 Premier League games. We've got the worst form in the country other than Sheffield Wednesday. Thank you, Sheffield Wednesday. Thank you is all I can say. And we are 1 point above the relegation with a 21-day break. Who would like to start today's game? Johnny, go for it. Team.
I only reason I'm going first is because I've only got about half an hour. But
go for it.
Look, honestly and truthfully, the fans did what they could. Unfortunately, the players, they just didn't do what they could do. Same old, same old. I thought the setup, the team selection was a bit strange. I don't think anyone would have been surprised if he'd have gone with the same team that played against Atletico Madrid, maybe adding Richie, maybe. And the halftime subs were just a joke. To take off our 2 fastest players at the back with Jed Spence and Mickey van der Ven was nonsensical. Listen, I thought Jed Spence was at fault for the first goal. Igor Jesus sneaking at the back post, you should never allowed it to happen. Maybe there was an argument at half time. I don't suppose we will know, but it seems a strange decision. And I said, why has he done that? What you've done, you've left Pedro Porro one-on-one with Hudson-Odoi. That ain't going to end well. And it wasn't long before it didn't. And he crossed for Morgan Gibbs-White. The second half subs absolutely killed us. Every sub was mind-boggling, to be truthful with you. We went backwards. I thought we battled well in the first half. We didn't do a lot. We tried. We couldn't get on the end of it. We put a few balls in. Thought Matthias Tell tried really hard. Archie Gray and him were the only two that really, and Danso tried hard in that first half, but Archie Gray and Tell probably were the only two. But that second half, man, was
I don't know what you was watching.
What's that?
So I don't know what you was watching. Gray and Sarr. I mean, Tell was.
I didn't mention Sarr. I only mentioned.
Yeah, you said Gray and that, but I'm just saying Gray and Sarr today proved again why they're probably the worst centre mid we've had, and Winks and Skip were better. Seriously, I thought that whole team was terrible.
Okay,
I don't think there was no one you could really pick out, and then it was.
I said they were all shit in the second half, and it was a disgraceful performance. I just said in that first half, the only shining light of any shape, form, or description was Tell trying hard and Archie Gray, doing bits and pieces. But second half, Dan, was absolutely shambles, mate. It was an embarrassment. And when that second goal went in, It was like someone popped their balloon. Absolutely disgrace. When did the second goal go in? 60 minutes? Was it 55 minutes? Can't even remember.
It was. They scored on the 62nd minute, Gibbs White.
62nd minute, right?
Yeah.
62nd minute, and you're down in tools. It was like, there was no belief at all when that second goal went in.
There was no belief from the fans either. I mean, you said earlier that the fans give it all they could and whatever. Yeah, sure they did. I get support the team before it goes in there. I get that side, but then to me, it just showed again how weak this fan base actually is. Because when it actually comes down to the crunch and they do need to put their foot down, like at a protest, only 150 sharp and 55,000 walk past. Yet when they want to stand up all happy clapping and everything and that, and you might have rainbows and fairies in the bloody sky, then they all turn up for that. But when it actually comes down to the crunch, nothing. And then fans going on preaching about supporting the team, get behind the players, use a lot of just negative and that. Yeah, we go 2-0 down. And I'd say from what I could see, I'd say about 40% of the stadium goes empty.
No, Dan. The stadium did not empty as soon as the second goal went in, mate. I was in the ground.
Only watching on the TV. Yeah, I'm only saying from what I saw on the TV.
Dan, I hear what you're saying. I don't disagree with what you're saying. But actually in the stadium today, the fan support was really good. And that when that second goal went in, they tried to lift them. But yes, a lot of people left probably on about 78, 80 minutes. I would say you were correct. They started to leave because they were supporting them and they were giving them fucking nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing.
So why don't they stand there and start giving it out in there then? Why don't they give it some of that then instead of just walking out? Why is our fan base that weak that it won't even stand there and put some effort in to try when it's blatantly fallen to crap? We can see that. You don't have to dig at the players. Standing there, the whole lot of them giving it, we want Enoch out or whatever. That's no dig at the players. Our fan base.
Dan, give me a second. Give me a second. Dan, give me a second. So I sit in the north stand, right? Mm-hmm. I'm in the north stand, just behind the goal. And Johnny, I'm sorry, mate. Right? I'm sorry. Second goal went in, and I watched a flood from the south stand. I reckon there was at least 10%, maybe 20% of people.
Can we get James Flower in to sort it out?
Yeah, maybe that is what we need. We need a plug. But literally, Johnny, I've got a bird's eye view of the south stand, and the concourse. There was a flood after the second goal.
Okay.
After the second goal went, I watched it. It's harder to say.
Mate, it did not go. Ryan, I'm not going to disagree with you, mate. You have your opinion.
I don't. What I'm going to say is, it's not an opinion. It's not an opinion. It's an observation. What I don't know, Johnny, is what happened in the north stand because I can't see it. You can't see it when you're in it, but I could see the south stand.
So
and
I was right by it, right?
No, it's harder when you're in it. It's harder when you're in it.
People left. No, I'm by the side of it. People left, Rain. People left. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. No, I'm just saying they didn't leave the second goal went in. Right, 60 minutes, half an hour to go, and everyone left. No, that's not.
I only saw certain things on the TV, so obviously I'm not going to see what you.
People did leave.
The TV does make its mind up. But why haven't our fans, Johnny, got the bollocks to stand there and give it something for the club? They talk about love the club and everything, but then when it comes to actually doing something for the club, they can't do it.
You're talking about,
why can't they turn up to a protest or even in the bloody stadium? And then after we get done in a game like that, no different to when I was there at the West Ham game, no different to what others have told me after the Palace game. They just go down for the piss up afterwards and that and still go and spend enough in there. I mean, in that
mean they didn't boo? They didn't boo or call for Enoch out? You're saying?
Yeah, no, you don't have to boo them. Go at least give it some of the Enoch out and everything like that. I know we're in a situation, but our fans don't do it. Why not?
I can't deny that. But what I'm
going to be a lively show, this one, isn't it? Going to be a lively show.
You can't call every fan out, Dan. Right?
I didn't.
You can't
I said
call
the majority.
Every fan out. I was in.
Okay, I'll do it this way, Johnny.
I was in there till 89 minutes, so I'm not going to be lumping myself in. I go to every demo. I support the club. I support the team, but I don't like the regime. Right? That's as simple as that.
I totally get that.
And
but experience,
there are people
Johnny.
like me. You know,
I've stood there with 150 of us, and that's being nice, I think, when I can literally say 55,000 just walk past us and give us a dodgy look and walk in there. I'm sorry, I will talk for a majority of the fan base that goes to Spurs, and a high majority of it, just through the experience I've had, that they don't bother. They just walked past us and left us standing there. Yes, you've got the small amount that might give us a thumbs up or whatever, and that's about it. Stood there with 150 of us, and 55,000 just walked past.
I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree on this panel, everyone, that the reason why we're in this mess is because of ENIC has fucked it up from start to finish, right? I think we're all we're all agreed on that. And the problem is, as Stel will tell you, and change for Tottenham and all the rest of it, no matter what's happened, right, he's never got the support, bar 2 demonstrations that I can remember. One walking down the high street with a good couple of thousand or 1,500 people. That was about the biggest one. But since then, like nothing. I mean, we've finished 17th last year. I think this year's going to be worse. I think we will go down the way we're playing, and we're going down with a whimper. But what you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do.
I think you see that
no
protest.
Point me standing on the side of the street, going ENIC out on my own, right? But at the same time,
I get what you mean.
Yeah.
You see that protest where there was about 2,500 there, yeah? The question I had from basically by the end of the protest was, why were the people actually there? I think half of the people, if not more, were actually at that protest because they more wanted Ange out than they were bothered about ENIC and Levy. Personal opinion.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And some were wandering down the high street and thought, this looks fun, and I'll join in.
Yeah.
Guys, can we before we get into the we got to the protest or the fan side of things very quickly. Before we do, can we talk about as a collective? And by the way, we will have Wolfie coming on in a minute, and you've got to listen. It is what it is, right? That we're in this game. I listen. The first question to him is going to be: I bet he can't believe how easy they turned up at our gaff, scored 3 goals. This is a Forest team that hadn't scored for about 498 shots or something. And
can I just say, Savva? Can I just add, Savva? The only silver lining is the last time. Hi, Wolfie. The last time Forest beat us, Wolfie, I might be wrong. You scored 3 goals, and in the next 4 games, not only did you not win, you didn't score a goal. Is that true? Is that right? After you beat us,
you're on mute, Wolf.
I was just going to say, how about this? Our last win was against you.
Yeah, no, when you scored 3 goals last time.
That was our last win.
That was your last win.
That was our last home win, yeah.
Typical.
Savva, can I?
I'm hopeful that in the next 4 games, you won't win and you won't score a goal.
Yeah, but Johnny, the problem is we're now ahead of you, so it doesn't matter. You ain't winning shit, man.
I know.
Did you guys see?
Savva?
Just quickly, Stel, just really quickly. Did you guys see that? So in this game, which is somebody in the chat will tell me how many years this is our worst run for. I think somebody said earlier it was since they invented the driving test. Right, this is Spurs' worst. I don't know when that was.
91 years. 91 years.
91 years, right? So this is our worst run of form. 13 games without a win, and that is bookmarked at either end by 3-0 defeats to his lot. So a 3-0 Forest defeat has started it, and currently on another 3-0 Forest defeat.
Can I give you one more stat, Sav? Can I give you? You love this one.
Sure.
If you lose one more game, you would have lost 38 games in the Premier League
in two seasons.
Years. Yeah, that's a whole season's worth of losses.
Yeah. So currently it's 60 from the beginning of last. This might be quite fitting, the anecdote here. From the beginning of last season in the Premier League, it's 69 Premier League games, 37 defeats. So we are 1 defeat away from having 2 seasons, and a whole season of those 2 is defeats.
But yeah, have a parade, mate. Have a parade.
This is this year, or this is one manager or one transfer window. This is shocking. This is terrible, right? So, go on, Stel, you wanted to, yeah, go, mate. Go.
Yeah, no, I want to talk about the manager and tactics. If that's all right. So, after the Arsenal game, I was very, very critical, and I said we need to get rid of him because I saw multiple layers of fundamental failure that the manager decided to run with. And you know, for a lot of fans, they found that a tough pill to swallow. You want him out already? And I'm like, yeah. And ever since that game, it's been an absolute catastrophe. 4-1, 3-1, 2-1, 3-0. It's unbelievable. He's worse than Frank. He's worse than Frank. And today, he starts a centre-back at left-back when he hasn't done that for the entire season. What a game to experiment in. He puts two children in midfield, and the only experienced player with true leadership, Paulinho, he puts him on the bench. And then the player that has created the most big chances this season in the league for Tottenham, Xavi Simons, he's on the bench after he had a very good game midweek. That starting team, sorry, 2 goals. That starting team I had a problem with. That first half was huff, puff, energy, no end product. Their goalie had nothing to do other than a long range save from Tell. And the second half, his substitutions were atrocious. And we finished the game, right? We finished the game with Sarr playing 90 minutes, Gray playing 84 minutes, Paulinho playing 0 minutes, Gallagher, our second most experienced midfielder, playing 6 minutes, and Xavi Simons playing 23 minutes. They are all managerial decisions. They all impact the outcome. And at the start of the game, I came on your show, Savva, and my exact words were this. I don't like the starting lineup. I don't know what he's done, but if he wins the game, hats off to him. We've got to say, job done. His idea worked and he saved us from relegation. However, if he loses, it's all on him. He didn't just lose, he got whooped. So for me, he needs to be sacked. He should have been sacked 4 Premier League games ago. And I pray to God this fan base just grows a pair of bollocks and stops getting excited after 2 performances and thinks, when the pressure's off, we're good. And I spoke about it all week on many channels. Pressure. This is pressure. And look what happens. We capitulated. If you can't play under pressure, like Conte said, what is the point? And I'm going to leave it there.
Well, look, I mean, let me ask. I want to come to Rain, and then I'm going to bring Wolfie in. I mean, Rain, Stell does make a good point. You know, before the game, a lot of us on YouTube, I know you would have been at the game, a lot of us on YouTube were going, why have you picked that team? Like, why have you taken a formula that we saw work on Wednesday night, and then the 2 players that scored all our goals were left on the bench? The shape that won the game was changed. Xavi Simons, who had arguably his best game in a Spurs shirt, is dropped. And you've gone 2 in midfield versus Forest's 3. And I think that showed in the game. I thought, by the way, I'll just put this out. I thought Anderson was absolutely brilliant. I think he is a top footballer. And Wolfie, I've got to get some sort of dig in because I can't say anything else to you. He won't be a Nottingham Forest player for very long because he is.
He was actually average today, mate. I've seen him play a lot better.
I thought he was quality, mate. He does everything we haven't got. Wolfie, you know, sits in midfield, keeps the ball ticking over, wins tackles, drives forward. Anyway, Rain.
Listen to Wolfie. I thought he was average. The best player in midfield on the pitch. He was average, you know.
Yeah, but I'm not even trolling you guys. I swear to God, he didn't have the best game.
My Igor, who I said at the beginning of the season was going to have a good one, who's hardly scored a goal, bangs in 2 today.
So Tudor's lineup made 0 sense. It made 0 sense. Did he throw? Was he looking to throw the midweek Champions League game? Is that why he played those players? I don't get it. Was he throwing that game and trying to win this one? I don't get when this is the game. The Champions League 5-2 down. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Exactly. It didn't matter what happened. It didn't matter what happened in that game. We needed to beat Wolfie's lot today. and we had a stellar performance from Xavi. I mean, Xavi's first goal, the interchange and the interlink up with Gray in the build up, and then that shot into the right hand side. It was an absolutely outstanding goal. I wish I was there because I don't go to midweek games. It made no sense. We were trying to work out, is it 4-4-2? Is it 3? Van der Ven was on the left, but then he was coming in as a centre back. We just couldn't work it out. Anderson, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Where was Spence playing, by the way?
Spence was playing right back. Porro was playing right wing. Actually, that kind of worked, except that Spence was rubbish. Spence was absolutely awful today. He did one through ball, and that was it. And he got run through by your lad on the left hand side, by Hudson-Odoi, again and again and again. He just got run through again. And we've been saying, play him on the right-hand side. Well, we saw him on the right-hand side today, and he was horrendous. He got absolutely owned. Anderson did have an average game, but you know what? When a cracking player has an average game, they still produce results. Anderson clocked Oliver, and he had him absolutely banged to rights. He knew exactly what he could get away with against Oliver, because Oliver loves
he hates Oliver.
He absolutely does. And Oliver is the type of ref, he only gives a foul if you go down. He will never give a foul unless the player goes down. And then sometimes if it's Romero, not even then. But Anderson absolutely knew how to get into Oliver's head, and he used it to maximum effect. He's not only there were fans who'd be going like, we should get Anderson in our bloody dreams. In our dreams will we have that player next season, assuming that we're in the Premier League. And yeah, I think he is too good for Forest.
Hayden Hackney wouldn't even come to us right now, I'll tell you that much.
I actually thought Gray had a good first half. He is lightweight. He
lost the ball 14 times in the first 28 minutes or something. Like I don't know what a player has to do in a Spurs shirt. A player doesn't really need to do anything now to be considered a good game, do they?
No.
He tried to progress the ball though, Savva, which is more than the others did, mate. You know,
absolutely.
Lovely passes.
Yeah, trying is good, but Sarr next to him, I thought Sarr had a terrible game. I thought Sarr was absolutely horrendous, and that meant that Archie Gray was kept on having to come through and cover. I think nobody had a good second half. Tell, I get it. I get why people look at Tell and think there's a player there, because there's loads of huff. There's loads of puff, but he never blows the house down. Ever. Never. He never has an end product. Ever. He looks good. He had the Forest players started doubling up on him, but there was no point because he doesn't actually deliver. He had a good game midweek. He returned to factory settings today. And then at the back, it's classic Keystone Cops as normal with Tottenham. We get attacked, we make some half decent saves, but we crumble. We crumble like an apple pie. We're just rubbish at the back. I don't know where Romero and Van der Ven are supposed to be. And Danzo had a decent game, but we're just rubbish.
Rain, if you think we're rubbish now, our next game in the Premier League, we don't have Vicario, so buckle up. Buckle up.
Milenkovic proved again why I personally think he's a better defender than Romero.
Yeah, him and Murillo was superb again today. Yeah.
I think Milenkovic is a better defender than Romero, and I have done for a long time.
And you've said that for a long time.
I've been following him since he was consistent at Fiorentina. First show I ever done with you, Savva, you asked me what defender, and I said, get him Milenkovic from Fiorentina.
Yeah, and do you remember what they used to say, Dan? Oh, we don't want him at our club, Milenkovic. Load of shit. rubbish, clueless.
Look, let me. I want to talk about Romero a bit later, by the way, because obviously I'm aware that it always seems like it's about Gray or Tell or Sarr. I want to talk about some of the more senior players a little bit later. But Wolfie, from your point of view, all banter aside, I'm sure you'll give me loads of shit in the coming weeks. But all banter aside, do you feel like was that a bit of a surprise to you? Just how easy that was for you in the end today to come away and walk away with a 3-0 very convincing scoreline? Were you surprised?
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, I'm saving it for the likes of George.
Yeah, sure.
Deji and that. So no, I've found this quite fascinating off the bat. It's always interesting to see the white perspective versus a red perspective on the game, because I honestly did think Anderson was average today. I thought Hudson-Odoi was atrocious apart from his assist. And from your side of thing, and I thought Einar was terrible. But from your side, I really only thought Tell looked like he turned up. I get what you're saying. There's a bit of the Doku in him where he did all the pretty stuff and then he gets into the final third and didn't quite get it off. But Sells made a worldie save. That was going in just before half time. But I just think there was so much nothing football, if that makes sense. There was a lot of sideways passing, then recycling the ball. And then when you got into the final third, we were nice and compact. And I thought for me, Milenkovic and Nico Williams were the two best players out there. That you were void for ideas of how to break that shape down. And I think that's where you struggled. And then it was almost like watching Forest in reverse. I've seen it so many times where Forest have looked good and pretty, but done nothing in the final third. And then, honestly, so many times a corner in the 45th minute has undone us this season as well. It was literally watching it in reverse. I think there's been a bit too much overhype of this Archie Gray. I've been hearing about him all week. There was a few nice touches in there and there was a few silly passes in there. As an average player, I wouldn't say he's rubbish. I wouldn't say he's the next Zidane coming through. Danso, I thought was your better defender, but I just didn't understand some of the shapes that Tudor was putting out there on the pitch. I was struggling with this whole Pedro Porro thing with Spence in there. Was Porro inverting sometimes, going wide? Van de Ven, he looked like he was a left winger at times in centre back. There's a little hint of Ange chaos to it at times in terms of where your players were setting up. But the problem was your final third. I thought Solanke and Richarlison were very quiet, apart from that offside chance where, Solanke didn't get to it, or was it the other way around? I can't remember. Outside of that, boys, honestly, that Tell chance is the only one that stands out to me that you actually put together. And I think the root of this problem is this whole hype up over the week. Sav, we've been speaking all week, and I just said, I don't think this decides anything this game. But there's so many Spurs fans I've spoken to are like, the loser's going down. I was like, it just shows me that you guys haven't been here before. It will go to the wire. It will go to the second last game. It always does. That's how it works. It's not decided.
But Wolfie, only if we can pick up some points. The problem we've got, Wolfie, is all I've heard all season is like everyone right now on YouTube channels starts doing this thing where they go, let's have a look at each team's running. Who's got the easiest? Problem is, we're nearly half a season without winning a game of football. So it doesn't matter which teams you put in front of Spurs at the moment, Wolfie. Years gone by, you could look and go, all right, well, we're not going to beat Chelsea away, but come on, it's Sunderland we'll beat. Right now, I'm looking at Sunderland away and going, fucking hell,
Leeds at home, Savva. I can't see us beating Leeds at home.
Brighton at home, Leeds at home. I don't know where a win is coming from, Wolfie. And this is why.
But this is where you're stretching it, Sav.
Huh?
It's not always about the wins. It's about the draws as well. Like if you're in a game,
that's all
we've had our draws taken down.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is sometimes I've had it as well where I've walked away from a game where Forest have drawn it, and it's like, for God's sake, we've dropped 2 points. But at the tally at the end of the season, those draws will add up. If you look at Leeds, for example, they can't score a goal, but they keep just getting a couple of draws here and there. They're just keeping them a point ahead of us and 3 points ahead of you. Like the draws are important. Draws are killers at the top end of the table.
Yeah, but
at the
Wolfie,
bottom end of the table, they count.
Wolfie, we can't draw with our defense and the way we don't protect the defense. Like since Tudor's come, we've conceded in the league 4, 7, 8, 9, 10.
13.
We've conceded 14 goals.
And actually, before Tudor came
How
under
many you
Frank,
scored?
before Tudor came under Frank, we were picking up point every 2 or 3 games. We were ticking with points, and everybody panicked.
And that's all
Rain,
you needed to do. That's all
Yeah,
you
but
needed to do because you had the
mate,
gap on West Ham. Not now.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
conceded 13 under Tudor in the
Tudor.
Premier League. We've conceded 13, conceded 4, and got 1 point from 15.
this is why he needed to be sacked weeks ago. He had to be sacked because he came in for an immediate bounce, an immediate response. We didn't get it, and we stuck with it. What we're seeing now is the result of us not having the balls to admit we fucked up bringing this guy in. And you know what? Are any of you confident this manager is going to pick up wins against Villa away, Chelsea away, against
Did they
Sunderland
sack
away?
him? Still, did they sack him, mate? Because I honestly and truthfully, I just don't know what this. But the board are clueless. They've been clueless for a long time, but even more clueless since they sacked Levy or removed him. I don't think they can make the right decision. Will they stick? That's what I need to know from you guys. Will they stick or will they twist? And if so, twist. Who are they going to get? Who are they going to get in? Or who would actually take this now? Because it's a catching a falling knife.
It's worse than that, Johnny. It's worse than that. When the decision to keep or sack Frank was taken out of Binai's hands, we all know it. We all know that.
But what do we do now, Ray?
Wait a minute. Let me land with my point.
Now we get relegated.
When that decision was taken out of Binai's hands,
It's real. It's real.
Now, who makes the decision? Is it Binai? Is it basically where we're a club where the organisation and the decision makers, that it's completely disrupted, where there's just chaos.
So what's your answer?
Who makes it?
So Rain, sorry, I'd love to stay. Unfortunately, I've got to go.
I still think we need to invest. I still think we need to invest all of our money in a time machine and go back in time.
But seriously now, is he gone? Is he gone? Do we sack him tonight or tomorrow? And if so, who do we bring in? That's the question.
Yes, should. Somebody should put the guillotine down and get somebody in like Sherwood, Redknapp. I don't care. Somebody who's going to come in and do exactly what Forest did today. Play 4-2-3-1 and just let the players do what they need to do.
I would interview managers and ask them 2 questions. Number 1, what players are you going to play in what position? And number 2, will Paulinho and Simmons start all the remaining games? And if the answer is yes, I would hire them.
So who is it? Yeah, but that's an easy one out. But who?
No, that's what I would do, Johnny. Because that's what.
Try and get managers there for the interview. That's half the problem.
Can I just say,
you won't
Johnny,
get none there.
Dyche rejected you, don't
Johnny, for me, look, I don't know if they are going to get rid of him. No one knows what this board are going to do.
That's
do you know what?
The
board don't know what the board are going to do, right?
Absolutely.
If they do make the change, all I want, if they make the change, is bring someone in that goes back to basics, right? Listen, Wolfie might disagree with me. I don't know. But what I've seen from Pereira since he's come in, yes, they've struggled to get some goals, but I've seen that they've gone back to basics. They've gone to a 4-2-3-1. The fullbacks are fullbacks. The centre-backs are centre-backs. The centre-mids are centre-mids. The wingers are wingers and the strikers are striker. And they're just putting people in the right positions. They're working hard. They're working as a unit. Yes, Forest have struggled to score goals, but you know what? Hardly anyone's scoring past them and they're in games. We float from game to game with different 11s, different right backs at left backs at right wing, centre mids on the left, strikers out wide right, 3 at the back, 4 at the back, 5 at the back, 2 up top, 1 up. This is not a coincidence that Igor Tudor has only got 1 point from 5 games. He has not done what Vitor Pereira's done. He has not done that at all. He has gone away from the basics of when a team is in trouble. And he is experimenting as though this is pre-season. This is not pre-season. This is the Premier League. Just put the fucking players in their positions. Porro is not a right winger. I don't want him there. Jed Spence isn't a left back. Yeah? Danso and Dragusin are not right backs. Xavi Simons comes on. He's put left wing. Bergval's come on. He's put right wing. Stop this. Just put them in their positions. Sorry, rant over. I know that didn't answer your question, Johnny, but I would just give it to someone.
Between us all,
someone like Sherwood. There you go. I tell you what, somebody like Tim Sherwood and who's just going to go back to back.
When did he last manage? Was it Villa when they were going down? Yeah.
I genuinely don't care.
Savva, I personally think it's too late, by the way. I said when we played, I said before the Palace game, I said it to Johnny and Sean and Lubo on the channel. I said to them, guys, I don't actually think that this Palace game is the big one. It's the Forest one. And I was very adamant every channel I've been on this week. If we lose this game, I think we go down, and we've lost it. In fact, we haven't lost it. We've been clobbered. I honestly think Spurs will get relegated this season because we are the worst team in the league in 2026. Yeah, and it's not changing. That Liverpool game was, again, it was a fake purple patchy, let's just fool the fans. The Atletico game is just something about us in Europe at home. I don't know what it is. Spurs at home, Europe, there's something that happens. But the reality is, in the league, the Premier League, we are hemorrhaging goals. We struggle to score, and the decisions made by whatever manager, it just doesn't make sense. I think we're gone. I think Spurs are gone. I really do.
I agree.
So
Savva, I'm going to shoot. Savva, thanks very much.
Johnny, thanks,
Wolfie,
mate.
good
See you later.
you. Everyone else, good luck with the chat. And, 3 weeks off to Sunderland. Wolfie, do we stay up or do we go down?
Do I want to go down or do I think you're going down?
Let me ask Wolfie a different question.
Wolfie, hang on, Wolfie's answering. Go on. What are you
I
saying,
think
Wolfie?
you go down.
No, Wolfie, going back to the debate we've just had. We're hiring you as a consultant. We're putting you on £3,000. No, we're not giving you any money. What do you think we should do in terms of the coach? This discussion that we've just had.
So it is quite fascinating because I feel Spurs at the moment are Forest from 2-3 months ago. We were having the debate after should you sack and should you not? Oh, can we get a third manager in or not? Oh, this is embarrassing. That's embarrassing. And then we did the same with Sean Dyche. Oh my God, we can't have 4 managers. My stance on it is quite simple. I don't care if we had 38 managers. If you were going to say to me you're going to get a manager bounce every single week with a new manager, I'll take 38 managers and win 38 games. I don't care. I don't care who's in charge.
It's a lot of compensation, that. It's a lot of compensation,
but that's Marinakis' problem.
We spend more on compensation than signings.
Exactly. But look, the point here for me is your biggest issue with Tudor isn't that he's not adequate enough. Isn't that he hasn't got the Premier League experience. It's the fact that you signed him as an interim manager in a relegation battle. That's the biggest issue with it. The players know he's not going to be there come the end of the season. You've made that crystal clear by the way you've appointed him. Therefore, they don't need to over-respect the manager. They don't need to over-listen to the manager's instructions. And they very well know that if you do go down, they're not staying on that sinking ship. They'll find other pastures new. So I think you need to get rid of him. And I think you need to appoint a manager that the fans get. And I hate that phrase. But for me, the one I would get in for Spurs would be Robbie Keane. Now, would he leave Ferencváros to come to Spurs?
Only for a full-time job, maybe.
Full-time.
Yeah, but you appoint him as a full-time job. This is my point. You don't say, come in here and firefight and save us. You say, come in here, save us, and rebuild in the summer.
Correct.
Because he's actually a good manager. Look what he's done at Ferencváros. And also, he would have the fans on side. That's the key thing. A player, an ex-player who's got the respect of the fans will always get more rope than an Igor Tudor that probably many Spurs fans haven't really watched before he turned up at Spurs.
That is true.
That's the big difference here. So be it Robbie Keane, be it Tim Sherwood, be it Harry Redknapp comes out of retirement or whatever, if you're going to make a move, it has to give you a feel-good factor, because the relegation battle isn't about how much possession you end up with. It isn't about how pretty the football, it's about the fight. If your players haven't got someone to motivate them to fight, then it doesn't matter. You could have Messi and prime Ronaldo in there. It won't matter. You have to fight. If you look at today, I thought we weren't that good today, but what we did is we defended with our lives. Big up, Jimmy. We made sure that we fought every ball, every goal line, every tackle we would go in for. That was the difference. We didn't play scintillating football, but when we got our chances, we created them and scored. You guys were just playing like it was it Savva that said it was like a preseason match? You were just moving the ball around too slowly. There was no fight at all. There was more passion in your bloody bus parade beforehand than your players showed on the pitch.
Yeah, but Wolfie, this is the thing. You've been showing that fight for weeks and weeks and weeks. Like you might not have got the results, but you've been showing the fight. Spurs have shown the fight when there's no pressure. That's the difference. You've been under pressure. Can I ask you something? So you now, off the back of that result, do you think that will spur you on to more points in the league? And bear in mind, you're still in Europe and we're not.
Yeah, I think it does, mate. I think because it's been a big week for us. Because
you've got more games left, right?
We overcame the deficit to go through to the next round, and we're still in Europe, which is, I think I was saying to Savva, I was like, I don't get how your fan base is celebrating going out Europe. Like, where are your standards on that? I actually think this whole, look, I've joked about it with you guys offline, but this parade didn't help. It just built up the pressure cauldron more.
That's
like,
what
I don't know
said.
why you chose this game to do it. This isn't like you were playing Arsenal. And in fact, you had Arsenal in a cup final on the same day, and you're doing that parade stuff beforehand. I don't get the logic of it. Do the parade after the game if you take the 3 points. How can you guys go from being ENIC out to 15, 20,000 fans lining the streets with bloody flares?
We don't even do ENIC out. We don't even do ENIC out. And that's what I was saying to people at the start. Our fans will turn up, and I'll repeat again, 150 of us stand there for a bloody protest while 55,000 walk past, yet 20,000 quite happily stand there and get behind the love parade on the street. Okay, back the players, yeah, whatever.
The soul's gone from your club,
when it comes down to the crunch, I'll say it as I see it. From a majority of what I see, from what I have stood there and seen, we have got one of the most pathetic, sentimental, weak-hearted fan bases in football, not just the Premier League. The thing that hurts most is not only are we in Arsenal's shadow for what they have won, we are also in the shadow of their bloody supporters. Why do I say that? Because at least a few thousand of theirs turned up, fight with each other, then realise, divided and conquered, team up together and get what they want and stand there and fight for it. Our lot are too far stuck up their own arse. They can smell yesterday's dinner and won't even go that far to do it. It's embarrassing.
I think you lost the soul of your club, boys. Like from an outside.
This is what I've been saying, Wolfie. Yeah. You preach. You preach.
Feels like when I'm looking at that parade, it was almost like a Notting Hill carnival. It's just everyone heard that there was a party going on. I don't even know if all of those would have been Spurs fans. They could have just been locals or people curious or out for a day in London and what have you. Do you know what I mean? It was just too party atmosphere. And they're thinking, where's the trophy? What's the point in it? What's the point?
Would you have understood it? See, I don't want to go too deep into that parade thing just yet. I don't want to get off the point of the game, but would you have understood it a bit more had this have been the last game of the season, Everton at home, right? And Spurs are guaranteed to stay up only if they get 3 points. Would you have understood it a little bit more about, come on, this is it?
No. After the game, Savva. Do it after the game. Earn the right to have that parade. Why do it before? That's the thing I don't get.
Hang on. Okay, so playing devil's advocate. So this is devil's advocate, right? You know my feelings on it, Wolfie. We WhatsApp this morning. You know my feelings. Devil's advocate is there. Those fans were saying, right, it's to be the 12th man, to give them the lift. And the only way I think it would have been acceptable is had it have been the last game of the season to stay up. Had it have been that, hey, we're behind you. But with 8 games of the season to go, I'm not sure why this game was the big fanfare. Because Stella's right. If ever they put together a protest, you would not see numbers like that to get the board out who are the very reason why we're in the situation we're in right now, which makes the fans feel that they need to G the players on. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Like,
and
Savva,
I think you're gone.
More fans walked out of the stadium today than walked out for the planned protest for the Man City game, the walkout.
Yeah. It's terrible. It's true. It's true. And if they're that pissed off and don't want to don't dig at the players, then there was your perfect time to let some emotion out if that's what they want to do in the stadium. But again, nothing.
Dan, I was on YouTube on Thursday and I was told, relax, it's Forest. They've had to play an extra 90 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever in Europe and penalties.
Yeah.
They're going to be knackered. In the last 20 minutes of the game on Sunday, they will fade off. Who looked the stronger team in the last 20 minutes today, lads?
It wasn't us. I mean,
So
where's all this? I
this
thought
is
we
the
were fitter
arrogance,
anyway.
This
I
is
thought
the
we were fitter.
arrogance.
This is why, Savva, I don't get on board with this anymore. I don't listen to this nonsense.
All week, I've heard so many different things from Spurs fans, right? I'll take you back. Let's go back 8 days, okay? Let's go back pre-Liverpool, okay? Pre the Liverpool game, I didn't see a single fan who wanted to keep Tudor, right? Everyone's saying this is shit. This is worse than Frank. We can't get points. He's got to go. Richarlison then scores a goal in the last minute and gets us a point. Fair play, worked hard. You could say we earned the point. Fine. That very game made all of the same YouTubers and fans that were saying, this is dreadful, he's got to go, well, you can't sack him now after a point at Anfield. Okay, well, of course you can. If you've got standards, you can. He's got, he's played 6 games as the manager or 5 games as the manager. He's not won one of them. Of course, you can. Then the Atletico Madrid game where many of us said, well, look, this is a dead rubber. Whatever people think about it, Atletico Madrid are 5-2 up. So unless Spurs get to 2-0 at any point, Atletico Madrid aren't panicked, are they? Do you know what I mean? If that had gone to 2-0, you go, okay, maybe. But we win that game. And then everyone goes, cool. I mean, I'll ask Lubo when he comes on. Tudor's made them look fitter. He's got them better organised. The players are listening to him. I can see what he's doing.
Oh, it's madness. It's madness, Savva. It's madness.
It's madness,
man.
You get back to today to a Premier League game. And as Rain said earlier, this is the game that mattered. This is the game where you had 20 first-team players fit for the first time, I believe, in 7 months, guys. Someone said the stat today, right? Apparently the first time in 7 months that we had 20 first-team players fit and there were no kids on the bench. I mean, you can say Sosa, but he was bought. There were no youth team players on the bench. We had a squad. And the big thing we asked, and sorry for the rant here, guys, let me go for a few seconds. And this was right. You've had the good result against Atleti. Now, what are you going to do in a pressure game against a Premier League team that know what they're doing, that are well drilled, don't concede many goals, and play 3 central midfielders? What are you going to do? What's he do? He turns up, completely messes about with the team, completely, for me, underestimates Forest by putting in Sarr and Gray against their 3. And I thought that showed. I thought in the first half, as well as the second half, I just thought Sangare and Anderson were superior to Gray and Sarr, right?
In every which way.
And then you're thinking, all right, mate, you got it wrong. Fair enough. You got 45 minutes. What does he do? The first 2 substitutions aren't even the players that scored the goals at Atleti. The first 2 substitutions are the 2 players who have just come back from injury, the most recent, right? And you're thinking to yourself, what are we doing? And this is my point to all of that is those 2 games sandwiched in between made fans go, actually, no, you can't sack him now. And I'm sitting there thinking, are you joking? Like, what do you mean you? So look, I feel that we deserve this, and not fans. I feel like the club deserve this because we didn't take the action when we could see that Tudor doesn't get it in the Premier League. We didn't take the action. We saw his first 4 games, and somebody's then gone, that 1 point against Liverpool keeps him in a job. And he showed today he is absolutely out of his depth as a manager. Sorry,
I think
over.
Other thing it showed was what a few of us got questioned for, and then it always starts off the debates and that, why can't you just be positive and everything else? Well, you usually find that when you have a, let's say, positive game, we'll just keep it at that word, it's usually certain people who like to throw it down your face, like, oh, I told you the team was good, or I told you this player was excellent and everything else, and then by the next game, it looks like they just had a blatant fluke of a game. Simple as that. Exactly. With the Liverpool game, bit of muscle, a bit of fight in it. It was good to see. I mean, even go off of the best team in the country, a point up at Anfield every season. Who's not going to take it? Especially us. But I pretty much think any team would accept that if you offered them a point up Anfield. It was a good point, but at the end of the day, the only reason we looked better is because we were shit, not fucking shit. And that's just to put it as blunt as I see it. And then when it came to the Atletico Madrid game, yeah. What did we have to play for, really? The game was already done and dusted. Okay, you could have said it could have gone elsewhere with the goals we got in there. But again, another game, pressure not on it. A couple of people have a fluke game, basically, the way I see that one. And you think, okay, now let's see you follow this onto another game. And then we come to the game that matters, it falls apart. Again, a lot with this fan base, again, it's just so easy to satisfy. Is it because there's that much hope in it, or is it just because we've just been treated with so much crap that even the slightest bit of improvement we see, all of a sudden we look good when we're not? We're still absolutely awful. It's just we're not as bad as... How many times have we sat here and said that is the worst game I've seen us play? And then the following week, no, that's the worst game I've seen us play. That's just what, it's run concurrent all season.
Going back to your original point about positivity and negativity, I'm going to say it before Stel gets in, because Stel's had personal experience of this in the last week. So as somebody who hasn't and has been an external viewer, I'm going to come in. What those people are actually saying is you're not as emotionally uncontrolled as I am. So those people who are saying you're positive, you're negative, I'm positive. You know what they're actually saying is I have no emotional control. So I'm going to be up and down. I'm going to be, this is the best thing ever. We got a point against Liverpool, who started in first gear and then struggled because they've got a midweek game against Galatasaray that they need to win, and then struggled to get into second and third. And I'm going to think this is the best thing ever. And then today it is bad, but today I'm going to be on the floor. You know, these people are here and then here, and then here. Yeah. One day they want Tudor gone. The next day he's the best thing. You know, he's the best things in sliced bread. The problem with those people is, and Savva is going to nod like mad, is they can't do rational analysis. They want to. Everything's about emotion. Everything's about emotion. So should we have signed Tudor in the first place? No. As soon as it was obvious that he wasn't doing the right things, should we have sacked him? Yes. Is it still the right thing to sack him now? Yes. Why? Not because of emotion, because of pure, cold, hard analysis of what the actual situation is.
Oh, statistically, he's worse in every aspect. In the last 5 Premier League games, Tudor is statistically worse than Frank was.
Exactly. Sorry, guys.
Go on, Flicks. No, go Flicks.
Go.
You've only got to look at his Poxy win ratio, 38%. Surely the board alone would have seen it and gone, hang on a minute, is he really the right guy to take us forward and get us out of a relegation scrap? Like, who actually bought this guy in? Obviously,
Flicks, have you seen his points ratio so far for Spurs in the Premier League?
So bad.
0.20 per game.
Absolutely shocking. I know.
That's crazy, right? Like, if you are bought in as the survival specialist with 12 games to go, that has got to be at least a point a game, right? Like you've got to at least have had 5-3, a win and a couple of draws, or 2 wins and 3 defeats. But the fact that we're sitting there going, he's got 1 point from 15, and then his assistant comes out and says, "Oh, it's the small margins." Oh, please, this is not small margins. This guy in 7 games of football has conceded 20 goals. 20 goals in 7 games. So since he's come in, he has not fixed the defense. He has not fixed the midfield. He has not fixed the attack. We are not hard to beat. We are not getting points. So I'm asking a question, other than a win against an Atletico team that didn't need to win at our ground, what has he actually done?
What's he actually done? He's made the situation worse. Getting that point against Liverpool and obviously beating Atletico, who, let's face it, they set back, didn't they? They wasn't really going full attack. That papered over the cracks. That kept him in his job.
Great.
Especially getting the point at Anfield, that kept him in the job and papered over the cracks. And Dan, earlier, you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, with the whole happy clappy, happy party vibe before the game today. I was not for that. Was not for that whatsoever. I was 100% up for the obviously the protest, but we've been there before with protests. You'd be very lucky to get 50 people turn up.
I had a ticket and changed my wife's hospital appointment, and then they change it to a bloody parade instead of a flipping protest.
But only Spurs would do that, right? And this is what I mean. We're just a fucking global embarrassment, and it's just making the whole thing worse.
So your club enabled it. This
I'll
is
see you
my
later
issue.
anyway. Take care.
Take care, bro.
I was just going to say, look, fans will be up and down based on results. Yeah, they will look for the positives. Some will look for the negatives. I just feel you were gaslit by your club with this. And I keep harping back to this parade. But what did you have to parade? A point against Liverpool. I mean, we went to Anfield and beat them 3-0 there. Liverpool
Wolfie,
just lost to Brighton 2-1.
Our club, it wasn't our club. Our fans arranged this, and then they contacted the club to ask if the club could get on board with it. And of course, the club saw this as an amazing opportunity to deflect. So the club said, "Yeah, we'll back this." That's what happened.
They were giving away free drinks as well.
Yeah, but the parade was fan driven. The fans chose for this, not the club.
Stel, do you know who actually got this going?
Yes. Yeah.
Can you name names or not?
It was a collaboration of Shelfside Spurs, Song Sheets, the Spurs Supporters Trust, Change for Tottenham. There's a youth kind of movement called Something 17. There was about six or seven fan groups that came together as one because they're all mates. They all know each other.
What was the plan behind it, Stel? What did they think it was going to do today? Because for me,
they looked at Everton when they were in a relegation battle, and they said, "Let's copy that," because Everton stayed up with it. But what they didn't realise is Everton's fans also turn up in huge numbers to protest as well. Their fans are different, right? They're not us. We just listen. It was for me. It was an excuse to have a little dance on the high street, a little, you know what, we're still relevant, we're still big, let's show the world we're big. But the reality is, guys, and this is why I was against the whole protest thing, the whole not protest, I'm for the protest, I was against the parade, is the game is won inside the stadium, and it's what we do inside the stadium that matters. These players couldn't give a shit what happens outside that stadium. Now, if we're already in good rhythm, so let's say we're heading towards a cup final or we're heading towards a league title, then it will give them an extra push to, come on, we're with you, man. We can do it together. I get it. But when you're in a relegation battle, I agree with Wolfie. We added pressure to a pressure cooker by doing this, and I did say it to the channel, Savva, I think this is going to add unnecessary pressure. And what matters is at 2-0 down, the fans stay in that stadium, keep singing, keep backing, keep whatever. We walked out. We began the walkout. So that's what was needed, was not that to happen. Which is why I said it doesn't matter if there's a parade. Protest, damn it. Keep the protest going, because if we don't, now nobody's going to protest. And I tell you what, if they try and arrange another party on the high street for the 6-pointer against Leeds, who's going to go to that now after this? Because now they're going to feel like, well, it didn't work last time. Why are we going to do that again? So it was for me, it didn't make sense. I wasn't on board with it. And I didn't like the noise that they were making about we're in it together right to the end, which is nonsense because they walk out the stadium whenever we don't like it. And this whole, this stand up, sing up, stay up. Well, where was that? 2-0. We weren't singing. All you could hear was the Forest fans in the corner. And there was still 25 minutes to go. So,
yeah, fully agree.
And your club was tweeting out on their official Twitter with films of it, the best fans in the world, with flame emojis and stuff.
But for the club, that's what they want. They want that perception. They want that spin. They want that narrative. What they don't want is ENIC out. These owners are treacherous.
Yeah, but
they don't want that.
You're missing the point of the hidden message behind when Spurs tweet out or things like the best fans in the world. Yeah, they are the best fans in the world to them because they're the
best customers.
They're the most deluded fan base because they believe anything that they put out.
Danny, with the best customers in the world.
A bunch of idiots.
Look, I just want to say this one last thing. All right, I had quite a heated debate with Change for Tottenham on the Spurs 5 on Monday. Fair play to him. Connor came on, right? He came on. It's not easy coming on and standing your ground. And I proper challenged him and I explained to him why I'm not backing the cause anymore and why I think this is all wrong. And most fans disagreed with my stance. And I forever believe that as a fan base, we will never do what it takes for things to change at this club. And I know you don't think I'm a lunatic, and you know what? I don't want you to agree with me. I'm not saying to agree with me.
Yes.
When I say relegate the club, it's not because I want to watch us play Cambridge and I fucking want to see dog shit players at this club, which is probably what we might see if we go down. I say it because there's no other way anything will change at Tottenham with the fan base that we've got at the moment. And as long as we've got our fans the way they are, nothing changes at this club if we stay up, and only a catastrophic event will force it. I don't want you to just jump on that because I said it. That's my mindset because, guys, this is just going to keep happening and happening and happening. Nothing will change at this club. Nothing.
Well, look, let's move. I want to move away from the parade thing. Look, I've got my thoughts on it. Sorry, go on, Rain.
Are we going to talk about it? Because I absolutely
go for it. If you yeah, I just don't want it to be a whole show on the parade and protesting.
Yeah. So I'd stayed off YouTube for a week because I was, you know me, I've been to every Change for Tottenham protest. I go to every home game that's at weekends. I can't do midweek games. And for me, and I went to the parade as well, right? And best day ever. For me, as soon as Change for Tottenham, I'm sorry, I never wanted to go in on them, right? As soon as Change for Tottenham said, we're not going to do the protest because of this. And I thought that Connor was very, very good on Spurs 5 in explaining why. And it was very rational.
Yeah.
It was very, but the mistake that Change for Tottenham made is they forgot that Change for Tottenham, the organisation, is there for a reason. It's not their fief. It's not their fiefdom, right? Which they can use to do whatever they want. It has a purpose.
Yep.
And I tried to explain this to various people. I'm not going to name names on various WhatsApp groups. And I tried to ask them questions to feed this out, and they just don't get it. What they've done, I've seen more of Change for Tottenham people on YouTube this week than I've seen at any protest, or apart from Billy, or apart from Billy on YouTube doing supporting previous protests. This week, they have absolutely loved getting on board with all these other groups. What they've done is they've taken their organisation, their Change for Tottenham platform, and they've used it as we are on board with these people, our mates, right? We're on board with these people and we're supporting them. And what they forgot is that Change for Tottenham should never have belonged to them. They may well have organised it. They may well have been the people who made sure that things happened. But what it actually should have been owned is by the fans. And so they have shot any credibility in my mind that those people now have to organise ENIC out protests, because I don't know, and there's so many other people like Cookie, right? There's so many other people like Dan who organised their lives, made changes to come to the protest. It was then changed, okay, rationally, but then the Change for Tottenham people have then used their Change for Tottenham platform to support this parade. And I'm sorry, I went to the outskirts of this parade. I'm quite happy to protest outside and support inside the stadium. I don't have a problem with that distinction at all in my head. I'm very, very capable of going protest here, support here. And I don't boo, unlike many of these other emotional wrecks, right? I don't boo. So when I saw this parade, right, that basically was the same as the parade last May, which I had a brilliant time at, where we celebrated winning something. And then there are these people here who are, why are you there? What are you celebrating? Why are you mimicking the celebrations last year, which was brilliant, when we are getting relegated? These people, I'm sorry, I try so hard. I've had arguments with Stel, I've had arguments with Maz. I always tell people, don't tell other people what to do. You own your own reactions, your own actions. But these people are idiots. They're complete and utter idiots if they didn't realise what the consequences of their actions were going to be.
Listen, did Nottingham Forest need a parade today to beat us 3-0? Did Nottingham Forest need a parade to stay up? Does any other club need a parade to stay up? It's mental what we're doing as a club. And Savva, I'll go back to what I said. Now this has backfired spectacularly.
Yeah.
If we need that going forward, it's not going to happen now. You've just used up your credit.
Yeah. That's true.
Well,
You've just used it up.
Let me move this. Let me move this back to a position of football, right? Because look, essentially, the whole point of the parade was to show the players that we're all still there and we're all still together, and it was to give them the vibe to get them to keep going. They didn't.
I don't give a shit.
Actually, gave another terrible performance. So I want to move to the players, and I'm somebody who. I think I've been one of the people banging the drum for a very long time that I don't rate this football squad. I feel like I have been very consistent that I don't rate it. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that if you get a manager that actually puts some square pegs in square holes and actually 6 to an 11 for 5 or 6 games, we might actually see something better. But on the main, I don't think these players are good enough. And when you look at this, guys, look, this is the Premier League table. And this won't be comfortable viewing for some of you. This is the 2026 Premier League table. Now, bearing in mind, we're about 83 or 84 days into, welcome, Lubo. We're about 83, 84 days into 2026. This is the Premier League table, right? For 2026. Now, as much as we can go up on Frank, Tudor, much as we can go on ENIC, if we bring this back to a pure football standpoint, at what stage are we going to say that these players are not fit in the main to wear the badge?
None of
you
them.
know, look, I've got no doubt that some of them, if dropped into a better team and better managers and better players around them, would do okay. But in the main, they seem to get away with everything, these players.
Do you know what the worst thing was, Savva?
They seem to get mollycoddled, right? They have a parade to show them we're behind you, even though they don't seem to give a shit. Even though they seem to give up, they don't seem to fight. They have one good game and fans start praising them after one good game. A player crosses a ball and we think he's amazing. When are we as a fan base going to go, these players aren't quite good enough?
When we get relegated. When we get relegated.
I don't disagree to some extent with Stel. Like today, before when it was 0-0, Wolfie was texting me, and I said, he goes, we can't. I said, you lot are playing better than us. And I said to him, the people in the Spurs fan in the WhatsApp groups, they're all saying that we're playing better than Forest. And I'm like, what game are you watching? And then I said to him, don't worry. I said something like on the lines of, Dr. Tottenham will turn up. And what happened? Dr. Tottenham turned up. Because Wolfie was saying we can't score at the moment. I said, oh, Dr. Tottenham will make you score. Don't worry. And the last time Forest scored more than 2 goals in a game in the Premier League was against Tottenham. Amazing, that, isn't it? And do you know what? One of the things that really pissed me off today, right, was before the match. I only saw it about half an hour before kickoff. That video that Tottenham posted on their official Twitter page of Romero sitting there in pitch black, and then they have this little clip and they're saying all together, and you have either him or someone else doing this little voiceover saying all together. As soon as I saw that, I just felt, do you know what? This is going to backfire today. I just that instant feeling of this is not good. Like this, I saw that and I was like, that is even more disgraceful than the parade, because all I see all season and for years are these players coming out week after week, loss after loss, saying all together now, all together now. I saw that and I was like, nah. And then in the match, Romero, there was one moment where I don't know if it was a corner or something, and Romero, the Forest started to counter on a break, and Romero's like strolling back. I'm like, is this guy having a laugh? Is this guy for real? The captain, right? I am so done with Romero. I could not give a flying fuck what happens to him. Honestly, he needs to leave this football club as soon as possible. And there's quite a lot of them that are the same. And for me, to be honest with you, I really couldn't care less about majority of these footballers.
Here was the team, guys. Here was the team before Danny went on. I was going to talk about Romero a bit later because, again, I think it's another shit game, another performance that shows he is not fit to captain this football club in any way, shape or form. Another game where I thought Danso was much better than Romero, but we're not allowed to say that because Danso's not won a World Cup. This is the team today. I mean, that's how I saw it. I'm sure. Essentially it was that, right? The 4-4-2. Again, we switched to another formation with different players playing. This time it was Porro right wing, Spence right back, Van der Ven left back. Constantly changing players' positions again. Let me just quickly ask Wolfie: when you saw that team and you saw we were lining up in a 4-4-2, was any part of you, and again, banter aside, Wolfie, was any part of you thinking that's a really good Spurs team? I'm worried about playing this team. They're going to dominate us X, Y, Z position. You're on mute, mate. Come on.
Sorry,
Wolfie. You've been doing this for many years. Come on, mate. Come on. You
got to let him off once. I mean, he's so happy that he won today. So
there was sentimentality, fear in that team. No actual logic behind it. And I mean, Spence, for example, it's like, the most Forest thing that would happen is ex-Forest player Spence comes in and scores. And the other one would have been Solanke at Bournemouth. He always scored against us. Outside of that, I looked at your midfield too. I don't know why this Papa saga is getting so overhyped in your fan base.
I
really don't. I've heard the reason you guys went shit was because Frank dropped him. The reasons you guys went shit was because Frank was nearly playing him in a 10 at the start of the season, and so I looked at him today. Honestly, I didn't notice he was on the pitch.
Yeah.
There was no balance in that team either. I don't think Richarlison and Solanke as a two works up front. If one's dropping deeper and doing that, then fine. But I don't think there's much synergy between them. There was nothing there that scared me. But what I will say is I look back to where I thought Spurs would finish at the start of the season with the squad you have. And I think I predicted you 9th. There is no way, it doesn't matter how bad you think this squad is, there is no way this squad of players should be 17th. And I'd say the same with my squad as well. It is... But it is when you lose all your best players to injury, Wolfie. That's the problem, right?
Exactly.
The difference with us and other clubs, Wolfie, is if Man City have 5, 6, 7 players out injured, they can replace. Same with Arsenal, same with Liverpool. With Tottenham, the drop-off from a Kudus to anyone else that goes right wing is massive, right? The drop-off all over the pitch is absolutely sensational, Wolfie.
Yeah, but the thing is, Kudos coming back now into this team probably doesn't change it because the momentum's so against you in terms of morale, motivation, and everything else. But even without Kudos, I still look at that team and think there should be, at worst, you should be saying like 12 for Spurs this season. At worst, there should be enough that you can't go this long with your, that we banter you with not winning 2 games in a season. Wolves did that in a week, and they've been atrocious at times this season. So, there was not, to answer your question, there was nothing that scared me. I get more scared by what my club I know can do, and when they decide they want to capitulate and shit the bed, than I do with what I saw on your team. But the balance for me was completely off. The constant switching round of players, it's like it was almost trying to play 4D chess on a 2D board. I think he's overthinking the game rather than what you need is just players to be told, this is your position, stick to it. You see that guy on the other team, Morgan Gibbs-White, he's meant to be their creative spark. Get someone like a Paulinho on there.
Yeah.
For me, I don't know why you're not playing Paulinho. Paulinho, I would have taken him at Forest. He's a terrible passer forward, but what he won't do is let players run past him with the ball. He'll break the play, game in, game out. It'll give you at least a 7 out of 10. Conor Gallagher, I know a lot of you didn't like him, but you put Conor Gallagher into a battle. He's done it with Crystal Palace.
Yep.
He was brilliant at Crystal Palace. He almost played as a 10 for them. So it's just, it's a circus, boys. It really is watching it. And I just think from one week to the other, if he's going to do this, there has to be some consistency. He can't keep changing your 11 every single week. Because partnerships won't develop. And now with only 6-7 games to go, what's he going to do? What's he learned over the last 4 or 5 weeks? And I think, Sav, you messaged me before the game saying, what did I think of Xavi not playing? And I said to you, I was more concerned about Hudson-Odoi playing, but looking at it, it didn't make sense. Why would you drop your creative player? And if you're going to say, well, he was tired because he played against Athletic or whatever he did, that wasn't your important game. This was. Yeah. This was. You were better off losing 7-0 to Atletico Madrid midweek and beating Forest 1-0 today.
Yeah.
It's just the balance doesn't make sense. And I think Stel touched on it. We played 120 minutes. We always have to make things hard for ourselves. We played 120 minutes. Yeah, but the difference I saw in Forest this week was Ryan Yates, who I don't think is the greatest footballer. He came out after the who did we play at Midtjylland game, and they said to me, "You guys going to be tired? You got Thursday, Sunday," and he said, "We're meant to be supposedly elite footballers. If we can't be up to play 2 or 3 games a week, then what are we doing here?" And what are we doing here? And this is a guy who I don't rate as a footballer.
Can I tell you what I don't get?
Not only did you play 120 minutes, you travelled as well.
And the game forward away. Yeah.
Let me tell you what I don't get. Right, I'll tell you what I don't get. On top of your point is, when you're in a battle, right? When you're in a battle, for me, I think you look to your experienced players to build partnerships. Right? I think you look to keeping the same sort of 11 as much as you can. So whether or not that's, for me personally, if I'm in a battle, I want Gallagher and Paulinho in that battle, right? Personally, I want Gallagher and Paulinho in that battle. Yet, since Gallagher's joined this club, I can't remember, I think maybe one game we've seen Gallagher and Paulinho play as a midfield. Do you know what I mean? Like, then you got Gallagher plays on the right. Then Tell's on the left one game, he's on the right the next. One game, Xavi Simons is attacking midfield, the next he's left midfield. Gray is right wing back, then he's left wing back, then he's centre mid. I have no idea how fans this week have talked about Tudor in any glowing positivity at all. This is the manager that is doing this to us. This is the manager. And to quote Lubo, we look fitter, we look sharper. They're playing for him. No, they're not. They never have. They had one good game against Atletico, who had qualified. And now you're seeing this is what happens when you play against a Premier League team that haven't already got a 3-goal lead against us. And when you've got players fit, he doesn't know what to do. He should have gone the moment Atletico battered us 5-2. at the latest. I know Stell would have had him gone after the Arsenal game, but this guy should have gone ages ago.
Exactly.
Savva,
100%.
Savva, unfortunately, what's happened to Tottenham is the same thing that's wrecked America and it's ruining the UK. And that's this liberalism woke narrative of you've just got to jump on whatever suits the narrative, whatever fits well at the time, and just go whichever way the wind blows, as opposed to, no, hold on a minute.
Like
This is my stance. I'm sticking with it and show some backbone. But unfortunately, the way the club is run and the way the fans behave has brought this on us. You know, nothing's going to change like this because people are too. You know, when I say things like, I'll use me as an example so that way I don't call anyone out. When I say after the Arsenal game, sack him now, I stick with it. Not because I'm stubborn, because I haven't seen anything to tell me otherwise. And when there's a little moment, like whether it's Liverpool or whatever, the Atletico Madrid, I analyse it and I say to myself, right, is that enough to change my mind? And it wasn't. But for most people, right, now I've got to change my mind now because everyone's gone that way. I don't want to be left over here because then I look like an idiot. It's not about looking like an idiot. It's about, what do you actually believe? What do you genuinely think of a player or a manager or an ownership or a section of the fan base? We don't have enough people, whether it's at the top of the club, in the terraces, on the pitch, in the changing room, that have got a backbone. This club, and when I say things like we've got one of the weakest fan bases, I mean it. We don't know what we want, and I don't think. It's almost like the culture. The culture at Spurs is just go with whatever kind of fits in that moment and it will be okay. No, there's no plan. There is no... When we brought in Tudor, what was the plan? It was... Surely it must have been, you've got to win at least a couple of games in the first 4. Surely that was the plan. So as soon as he hasn't done that, why is he still here? Why are you still... You're not here...
At least in your first 5 Premier League games, you've got to not lose 3 of them or get 2 wins, but we're happy with a point at Anfield. And
there's no plan. There's no plan.
Stay. It's madness for me. I want to bring Lubo in. Welcome to the show, Lubo. Look, you went. I know you said you messaged me the first thing this morning. Said you're off to wave at a bus. And me and you had a bit of a luck.
Bus wanker.
Bus wanker.
Lubo. I mean, not a good day at the office, Lubo. Right? Not a good day. If I'm going to say it, for me, when you look at the pressure involved, the team we were up against, and the fact that it's now a relegation battle, I would go as far to say that's one of the worst defeats of the season.
Yes, I don't think it's down to pressure. I think they're weak mentally. I think that's the problem. You know, we were doing okay first half. There was no cutting edge. There was a lot of attacking, a lot of corners without really stretching the keeper. The ball hit the woodwork twice. I mean, that was a fantastic save. I saw the highlight.
Great save ourselves.
Brilliant save.
Why weren't they weak mentally midweek?
Why weren't they weak mentally? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. They got off to a decent start. They got into their flow.
Anfield, we were 1-0 down. Why weren't we weak mentally at Anfield?
Well, sometimes, you know,
I don't
know what it was.
It's pressure. It's pressure, Lubo. It's pressure.
It's nothing to do with pressure. I don't think.
No. What are you on about?
To do with pressure still.
Let him speak first because I want to hear what he says.
Yeah. Let him go. Let him go, please.
Oh, the ball's gone in. We're 1-0 down. I mean, horrendous defending at the back post. Spurs were banging the game without ever really threatening their goal, but we were right in the game. Lots of corners. At least we were moving the ball forward with purpose. You know, there was effort and commitment there. And then the ball goes in, and I know Tell hit the bar a second later, but they came out second half, and it's like the balloon had been popped. They were just deflated. They were flat. There was just nothing. And it was like, you know, guys, roll your sleeves up. This is about mental. This is about being mentally strong. This is about coming back when you're 1-0 down. And there just wasn't the same urgency. There wasn't the same runs, you know, the same efforts. You know, players weren't showing like they were in the first half. And it was I don't know. It was just appalling, and you could just see the scoreline getting worse and worse as the second half went on. Even before the goals, it was a question of, well, you just can't see a scoring.
But Lubo, can I ask you with the pressure thing? And I think this is what Stel was going to get at. Tell me if I'm wrong, Stel. I don't want to speak for people. For the pressure thing, though, a lot of people said, right, that Liverpool, everyone thought we were going to get battered. So there's no real pressure there. If Spurs had come away from Anfield losing 2-0, 1-0, I think everyone goes, that's fine. We were going to get battered anyway. Atletico Madrid, there was no pressure because we were 5-2 down on aggregate. Paratici's on my TV at the moment. Paratici's on my TV at the moment. Unbelievable, that guy. Hang on. So we were 5.
You lose 6 on the spin. There's pressure. You go to
hang on. But it's different type of pressure, right? Like Liverpool away, everyone expects Spurs to get battered. It's Anfield. We never win there. So the pressure isn't really as great. If you come away losing at Anfield, people will go, well, yeah, it's Anfield. We were going to lose. The game against Atletico Madrid, I don't know if I like the term dead rubber, but I see what people are saying. Atleti were 5-2 up. They didn't need to come to Spurs and win. They literally, unless they completely collapsed, they were going through. So there wasn't a lot of pressure. Today's game at home, we're above Nottingham Forest in the league, right? Relegation battle, haven't won for 12. That's pressure, right? That's pressure. And again, in that game is the game where Spurs go like we did against Fulham, like we did against Palace. You know, like surely that is the difference between the pressure and not having the pressure, which is why, Lubo, many of us said all week, it's all well and good, everyone gassing up. Apparently, we look fitter now. I don't know what that meant or where that came from, but it's not about that. It's about
that was down
what
to
do
the
we do on
stats.
Sunday.
Well, does anybody honestly expect Spurs? You know, we talk about pressure. No one. I thought they win today. I thought I came out of the grounds the other night and I genuinely thought, you know, Atletico Madrid didn't just roll over. That they were a bloody good side with some really good players. So for me, that was a good result. Whether it was meaningless, whether it was a dead rubber, whatever it was, they're a good side, and we beat a good side. And you know, full marks to them. Didn't mean anything in the overall scheme of things, but you hope you've got a last minute goal at Liverpool. You've come away, you've broken the run, and you've done well. So you think just maybe. And I remember Sean asking me on the show, and he said, "How do you feel about Tudor?" I said, "Well, no, I haven't flipped across to Tudor in, but I'm in the middle, and I'm looking to see what happens this week." I didn't expect him to take out Simmons. I thought that was absolutely suicidal. But you know, we've won now 4 at home in the last 30 since we beat Villa 4-1 November 24. We've won 4 home games out of 30 in the league.
But yet every game, our fan base goes.
Does anybody expect a home win anymore?
You did, Lubo. You said to me yesterday.
I did based on this week. But when you look at the,
but haven't you had these weeks this season?
That's 10. Yeah. That's 10 defeats in 16 now at home in the league.
Yeah, but the thing I don't get, I've seen the Spurs fans react like this.
Lubo, can I ask you a question?
One of you guys might have sorry,
we've lost 5 away in the league. We've lost 10 at home. We've lost double the amount of games at home that we have away.
Lubo, can I ask you a question? Do you think you, and I would say most Spurs fans, not all, do you think that when you see a couple of half decent moments, a couple of, you know, all right results, rather than just letting it play out and say, right, let's see if this actually means something, or if this is classic Spurs of, oh, that was just a good moment, nothing more. Do you think you just jump the gun with it rather than just letting it play out?
As a fan, you hope, and as a fan, you latch on to anything that's going, because there's been
not everyone, Lubo, not everyone. The word is I, not you. The word is I. I hope. I do this, not you, not general fans, because a lot of us fans were looking at the Atletico Madrid game, and we're going. Madrid managed that 2-legged tie. That's what Madrid did. That's what they did. They came to us. Spurs fans got very excited about winning 3-2, but who actually came out of the tie and went into the next round? It was Atletico Madrid. They just managed that. They just made sure that the score never got away from them. They're 100% professional, and they managed it through. And anyone who tried to say that got shouted down.
Yeah, you're negative. You're not a fan. Be optimistic. But we all knew what we all know what happens at this club, and we just keep. It's like we keep forgetting. And like Wolfie just made a good point. I think Wolfie, if you want to go, you were about to say, haven't we had these weeks before, and we do this again and again and again.
I've seen it, and I get it because we are all fans, and I get Lubo's stance on it, and I don't begrudge him it because I've had moments like that with Forest this season, and then you get slapped at the weekend. You're like, reality, but there's been too many times. And the other more concerning one for me, for you guys, is I've seen so many games this season where you could say it's a bit of the Thomas Frank effect, but where you go behind, you play like this pragmatic football until you go a goal or two behind, and then you start playing, like against Man City a few weeks ago. I know it was under Thomas Frank, and then Brighton earlier on in the season, and many other games. It just feels like you need to have no pressure on you to start playing football. And yes, those examples I gave you were under Thomas Frank, but like you haven't seen that happen in the last 5 weeks, apart from like against Liverpool, where there's no pressure against you, you're expected to lose, and the players suddenly turn up. That's the most worrying thing for me from your perspective, is that if you can't play under pressure, if you can't dig out a win under pressure playing rubbish, it's going to be a long 7 games coming up for Spurs. Now, I'm not sitting here, by the way, saying Forest are out of this. We're not. I fully expect this to go down to the last game or two. But I've said this to you before, Sav. When I look at the teams down there, Leeds, Forest, West Ham, Spurs, I look at the other 3 teams other than Spurs, I think they've all had experience of this. Yeah, no way in hell would you see Leeds, West Ham, or Forest doing a parade with 8 games to go, because we wouldn't understand what it was for. We wouldn't understand what it was for. What I would expect and what Forest would do is make sure the atmosphere within the stadium, when the game is going on, is bang on. That's the key thing. 20,000 people outside can make as much noise as they want, but if it's not replicated and put into the stadium, it makes absolutely no difference. And at the same time, your players cannot get away with the way they are playing. It is not on the fans to motivate the players. It's on the players to give the fans hope, to look at something that they can hold on to and that they can get behind. That's how football works. We are, the Patreons. We are the customers. We are the fans. They are paid to get results for us from a Forest perspective, or for you from a Spurs perspective. If they're not doing that, that's on the players. If that stadium is empty, if we're back in COVID times, they needed the fans to G them up to go out and play. They have to play that regardless of fans or not. And you're not getting that from your players. And these players, I think half of them you will probably find have already spoken to their agents and said, where's next?
Wolfie, I know
100%. 100%.
I know that. I know players have spoken to agents already. Because they believe they're better than Tottenham, and I don't want to defend them, but some of them are better than Tottenham, because Tottenham are run so shambolically. Listen, Wolfie, we knew we were in deep shit in January, but we never thought it would continue. And we had a chance to go in the transfer window. Listen, we've got the money, Wolfie, right? We've got the money. We had a chance to go in January and salvage something. Mate, we did absolutely bugger all. And now the chickens have come home to roost. So we've kind of the ownership have kind of brought this on us as well, massively.
The thing is, I looked at your transfer window, and you ended up being between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? Oh, hello?
No, I hear you.
You can hear me? Yeah, because I think you were like, do we continue to back Thomas Frank and give him money, or are we going to end up sacking him in a week? I think that's one of your big problems. That transfer window, you should have decided January the 1st, sack Thomas Frank. If you didn't sack him by January the 2nd, he should still be in charge now, and you should have bought players. But I think what your club has done is said we can
Surely
just meander our
the
way
manager
down.
is, they had to buy, right? Like there's so much put on not backing Frank, but surely the club realised that whoever the manager was in January, we had a horrific injury list, and they had to buy for somebody. I don't care if you're buying for Frank or Tudor or Ange, you've got to buy for Tottenham. You've got to buy for Tottenham Hotspur. The manager is just one man. Surely we have to.
Do you know what the most depressing thing is about all of this? If regardless of whether Spurs go down or stay up, right, which is looking more increasingly likely they're going to go down, right? Lange and Vinay are still going to be here regardless. That's the most worrying thing for me.
And Wolfie, the other biggest difference between what you're saying and Tottenham Hotspur is Marinakis absolutely makes the decisions, right? At Tottenham Hotspur, and I was saying this in October, November, when people were telling me is Frank going to get sacked, and my answer was no, because nobody is making decisions at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, and that's been the biggest problem. Nobody is making the decisions, and in the end, from what we know, the decision to sack Frank was actually taken by somebody who has no direct links to Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Nick Boucher. He's not on the board. He's not employed by the club. He is a relative of somebody on the board. And he went, you've got to sack him. And that's what triggered it.
You bang on.
You have Marinakis and we don't have it.
Because I've been told all season of 4 managers, you can't stay up, it's never happened, etc. The difference is Marinakis knows he made a mistake with Ange, for example, from his perspective. 8 games in, sacks him. Sean Dyche couldn't beat a Wolves at home, sacked him. He's prepared to undo his mistakes, even if it's costing him compensation, because his bigger concern is the well-being of the club. And that's why I can overlook these errors when it comes to Marinakis, because I know he will be the first to stand up and try and rectify it, not because he's going to get 20% more revenue on game day, but because he cares about the direction that the club are going in. So I respect that. He's made plenty of mistakes. He's made plenty of mistakes, but I can forgive him.
Can I just say, the interesting thing here, by the way, guys, is whichever way we spin this, whichever manager we want to blame or whatever, they had to buy players for the January. Because Tottenham Hotspur right now, right, when Frank left the building, feels like ages ago now, we were 5 points above relegation. We are now 1 point above relegation. And whatever way people want to spin it, that is worse. He is taking us further and further into relegation, this guy. He got a little reprieve because everyone got really excited because they hadn't seen Spurs win for ages and started pretending that he'd got patterns of play out of them and we're amazing. And this is where we are. But we all knew deep down, how many of you sat there in January and went, you know what they're going to do? And Lubo, how many times when I've been walking my dogs, have me and you had a chat for an hour when I'm walking the dogs, and I said to you during that January, we are going to get to the end of the window. It will slam shut. They'll give Frank another game. And then the moment he loses, they'll go sacked, because then the new manager won't have a transfer window. They've not got to spend. And I think their arrogance in the last summer window and in the January window, their arrogance and their lack of doing everything possible and leaving everything on the table to get players into Spurs is going to be our undoing. Their arrogance.
I've just got to jump, boys, but I'll leave you this one thought, which will be fascinating to watch. West Ham play Wolves before you next play.
Yep.
And if they win...
where is it?
I'm not sure, you know. I don't know if they're home.
Is that
West Ham? So we could be bottom 3 when we next play.
Yeah, there's a high possibility you go into your game. Now that is a pressure game away to Sunderland. If West Ham do get the win.
Yeah. Mate, so, Sunderland just beat Newcastle away. They're going to be buzzing.
Yeah. So
100% they will.
Good luck. You know, I'm Stelligation through and through, bro. I'm number 1.
Yes, Wolfie. My Forest fan.
I want to see that happen, but yeah, I'll catch up with you boys later. And
thanks, Wolfie.
And I came in peace. I didn't do any trolling, so.
Your boys thoroughly deserved it. Fair play.
Big up, boys. Chat, make sure you've liked, make sure you subscribe. Savva doesn't tell you to do it enough.
Yeah, no, I get told off when I do, so I don't tell people enough.
right.
I mean, guys,
Have a good
stream.
thanks, Wolfie. That is a sobering thought, guys, isn't it? That Wolves and West Ham play on the Friday night, and we play on the Sunday. That is sobering, isn't it? That even when we don't play on the Friday, are they Friday night? Yeah,
Friday night. Yep.
even when we don't play on that Friday night, we could be the main match. If I'm not wrong, somebody tell me, will this be the first time we've been in the bottom three?
Yes.
I'm just trying to think since when. Have we ever been in the bottom three of the Premier League before? Like, I don't mean like after 4 games or 5, 6 games. I mean like
Juan de Ramos when Red
but that was after 8 games, right? I mean, like, have we ever been in the bottom 3?
No.
The turn of January, like
No, never.
Fucking hell. Like, oh Jesus.
Listen, Savva, I wanted Frank out. I never thought we should have hired him in the first place. But I'm happy to say that Tudor is worse than Frank. There's no doubt about it. Like, you can be Frank out, but also admit that Tudor's fucking worse. Like, Tudor is worse. Sure. Tudor has been a shocking appointment. And you know, when we hired him, I remember a lot of fans, like they do, they get told something by journalists and they get told something by some of the bigger YouTube channels. So they all jump on it. And we were told Tudor's a relegation expert. Look what he's done when he's gone to other clubs. And then you had the other side of the fence where some of us fans said, but hold on, does he know the Premier League? Does he understand what it means to go into a North London derby for his first game? Surely we need someone that's got that in their locker as well. And we were told, no, you just hate the club. The club know what they're doing. What do you know? Well, 5 games later, 1 point, maybe we did need someone that understood the Premier League. Just maybe, you know.
I think just to come in on that and what you mentioned to me before, Sav, before Wolfie dropped off. I think this has been coming for many years. Yep. It's been fast forwarded because of the horrendous transfer window we had in January. Is it arrogance? I think it's the fact that they're completely useless. These owners, they haven't got a clue.
Yeah,
they actually don't have a clue what they're doing.
It's a bit of both, Lubo. It's the arrogance and they don't have a clue.
And that's the problem. You know, it's because they've been earning money all these years on the commercial side, which is all going to dissipate. You know, it's like you look at stocks and shares. First 2 months, you look at the FTSE, it's gone from 10,000 to 11,000. And the whole lot's gone, bang, in 3 weeks. And that's what's going to happen to the money that they've amassed. They put in 350 million into the club that they put nothing in like other chairmen do outside of share issues. All they've done is just keep buying more and more shares and diluting the shares that the fans have got. That's all they've been doing. And all that profit that they could have had, if they'd have taken one of the several offers that I've been told they have received over the last few years, they'd walked away with a very big profit. Now they're in a position where they could well lose it. Stay up, they'll lose it because the value of the club is going to drop dramatically with this relegation fight, because it's 2 years running now.
I get that it's incompetence. I by the way, I'm not just saying it was arrogance
and neglect, massive neglect.
Yeah, I get that it was incompetence and neglect, but where the arrogance comes in is we've all seen the video of Johan Lang sitting there and telling us that there was no one available better than the 11 players we had at that time. And by the way, this is 11 players now, whichever way, that haven't won a game for 13. And our arrogance was there's no one better available in January. And they kept feeding it into fans, didn't they? They kept feeding it in. January's difficult to do transfers in. January's difficult. Well, we had Akliush, who was there, could have come in. We had
no one believed him. No one believed him. Everybody laughed at him.
Oh, that's the problem.
Everyone's aware of how incompetent Lang is. We all know,
Sure.
everybody knows. Nobody believed that shit that he came out with on that video after the transfer window.
But fans do nothing about it, Lubo.
But we had, but for 1 minute, let's not worry. I don't want to worry about the fans just for 1 minute, because otherwise we just keep going back to protesting and fans and stuff, and then I just get loads of comments in my chat afterwards that is fans. But my point with that was, Lubo, is it is an arrogance. Yes, it's incompetence, but it's this arrogance that we're Spurs, will be all right. We want to wait until the summer to get the exact right player. The difference is clubs like West Ham and Forest went out in the window and went, we need to stay up. Like, they're thinking about staying up. We were arrogant and going, we're Spurs, we're all right. Look at West Ham. Now, I know West Ham are a mess like us, but they've caught us up massively, right?
Yeah.
At the start of the transfer window, I believe that we were something like 12 or 13 points clear of West Ham. Like something ridiculous like that. And now we're 1 point ahead and they play their next home game is against the bottom of the league, Wolves. So the arrogance, the ignorance, the incompetence, they deserve relegation. We don't, but they deserve it. And that's a difficult place for me to be in my head, Lubo.
Sure,
because if we go down, I can't sit there and go, oh, to be fair, I didn't see this come. I can't believe it. I can. Because again, in the summer, we didn't do what we needed to. No, don't worry. We couldn't replace Son. We only had 3 months. Couldn't replace Son. We'll do it in January. No, couldn't do it in January either. We'll do it next summer. The arrogance, the incompetence, it's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic.
Sam, I think it is also neglect. I think I absolutely make everything you said correct. Absolutely everything you said correct. Because the other aspect, because I was saying in the summer and I was saying in January, one out, one in, and everyone's like, but we've got money. I'm like, it's not about money. It's about the squad size. They are absolutely obsessed with not going over our squad limit. So in January, and Lange also said this, we've got players who are going to come back. Well, I mean, it's nearly the end of March. I'm looking at it's almost the end of March, and they're only just coming back now. That was, you can call that what you want, arrogance, neglect.
Yeah.
What they should have done is gone, Kulusevski, Maddison, you're not coming back this year. Therefore, we're going to buy players who can fill your squad slots, and we don't care. We will sort it out in the summer. They did with Maddison. They went and bought Simmons, didn't they? No. But we've still got a certain amount of players in the squad list. We've still got a certain amount of players. We still don't go over our squad list. So we still need in it doesn't really matter what they did in the summer. They should have done it in January, right? And Lange specifically said we've got players coming back. They're only coming back at the end of March.
Yeah,
it's too late
now. Yeah.
It's too late.
I must tell you something. What Lange said was absolute shit, because they had 4 months. They had from September the 2nd or 3rd to December the 31st to get everything wrapped up. Yeah. And the injuries started happening in January. So
before January.
Yeah, way before that.
The injuries happened before January.
Before that, yeah.
No. Look at the injuries. Look at the people that got injured in Jan. Bergvall, Kudus, Davis.
But we were still we got no one's doubting that, but there were still injuries going into the January transfer window. Hence why everyone was going, this is a massive window. We've got to buy to replace injured players.
I'm only talking about that part of it. I'm not talking about strengthening the squad that needed doing before the injuries. I'm only talking about what Lange said about what you just mentioned about the injuries. That's all. There's 2 parts to this. I'm just talking about the injury part. He had 4 months to start bringing in people, which would have softened the blow of the certain amount of injuries.
When was it when Kudus got injured again?
Kudus got injured in January.
Right. Okay.
I only know that because Brennan Johnson was sold on January the 2nd, and then the very next game, 2 days later, Kudus goes down, and Spurs go. But do you know the annoying thing, Flicks, about that? is
Go on.
even without Kudus getting injured on the 4th of Jan, we sold Johnson. That must mean you replace.
Exactly.
Not only did we not replace Johnson, we then saw our only right winger at the football club get injured and then went, oh, well, we've lost Johnson and Kudus. Don't worry, because no one's better than this 11 we've got. We'll wait till the summer. And I'll tell you what, that's going to be the most expensive mistake in the history of Premier League football if we get relegated. And they deserve it. We don't. They deserve that financial hit. I get it from that point of view. But we're the ones that will suffer because we're the ones that will be playing Lincoln City next year, who are promoted, right? We'll be playing Lincoln City. We're the ones that are going to be trolled by every fan base. Right now, we are the biggest laughing stock in football.
Global embarrassment.
Everyone is
global embarrassment.
Savva, we get battered every week in the Premier League.
Yeah. So just looking at this, Johnson went on the 2nd of Jan.
Yep.
Was it? Kudus got injured on the 4th.
Yep.
Benson Core got injured on the 7th.
Yep.
Davis got injured on the 10th.
Yeah.
So there's 4 gone in the first 10 days.
Yeah.
Bergdale got injured on the 20th. That's 5. We've lost 5. And I'm sure there was one more. Danso.
Was it Solanke or Richie
Martin,
or
yeah.
some
Solanke wasn't
Richie.
Solanke wasn't back.
Richie got injured, didn't he?
Yeah, Richie got injured at the end, and then Solanke came back. I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, Savva. Sorry, guys. Let me just wish you all lots of love. I've got to go. It's 12 o'clock here, so you have a good show and respect everyone. Big up.
Cheers, mate.
And Lubo, going back to what you were saying about them losing their capital, they're not going to get. Let's say we go down, right, and we come straight back up. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden they regain all of the valuation that they've built up in Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. They're not going to get they're not going to get all those sponsors back who are potentially paying a premium because we were a top 6 club, right? They're not. All of that is going to have to be rebuilt. Their neglect into our playing squad is going to cost them massively, absolutely massively, financially in terms of the valuation of our club.
Haven't we already lost some sponsors already?
No, but we've been told that we are losing one, a major one. We lost Richie on the 10th as well when Davis went down. So that was 6.
And we were offered John Duran on loan and said no. We were offered Moussa Diaby on loan and said no. We were offered Akliouche and didn't go for it. We were offered Lookman and didn't want to give a 28-year-old a 200 grand a week contract, right? And when you see things like that, from the outside, if we weren't Spurs fans, we'd say you deserve to go down, wouldn't you? If we weren't Spurs fans, we'd say you deserve it. But because we're Spurs fans, this is gutting. This is the most worried I've ever been because no matter how much people keep telling me, and I'm sick of hearing this, guys, we've got winnable games. No game at the moment is winnable for Tottenham. No game. When you look at all the Premier League games, at any point did we look like beating Forest? Nope. At any point did we look like beating Liverpool? Nope. At any point did we look like beating Crystal Palace, Fulham, Arsenal? Nope. We had to claw back against Burnley. Right? At any point did we look like beating Man United? Nope. Man City, we had to come back from 2-0. We keep saying winnable games. Which game is winnable for a team that never looked like winning?
That's the problem. That's the problem. The only thing I'm hanging on, the only hope I'm hanging on to now for staying up is that we get something out of Kudus, which revitalises the team. And there's no guarantee there. The guy's been out since January, so he's coming back after. He's coming back after what? 14 weeks. He would have been out for 14 weeks.
Mm.
And West
Is he
Ham,
back for Sunderland?
yes, he's back for Sunderland.
But he won't have played any football, will he? Like he wouldn't have.
No, whether they arrange behind closed doors, a match because there's 3 weeks in between games wouldn't surprise me. You know, generally not just for Kudus but for the players. A lot of them will be going off on international duty, but they'll all be back around the 2nd, 3rd after the international games, and then the weekend of the 4th is FA Cup weekend, so there's no football. So whether they arrange a friendly, I don't know.
But do you trust Lubo? I'm only going to go to about 10:30, by the way, guys. I'm not doing a 4 or 5 hour stream. Do you trust Lubo though? But yes, Kudus has come back, and I think Kudus is. Listen, so many people that were down on Kudus, and I think what you've seen since he's not in the team, just how good a winger he was, right? Strength, pace, power, drive it right. Do you trust that this manager's going to play him properly? Because he is playing everyone out of position. It wouldn't surprise me if he brings in Kudus and has him right back. He just seems clueless.
I think the most disappointing thing with this manager about today was the selection and the tactics that he played. Had he done his homework, he should have gone through every single Forest game, video of all the goals they conceded, how they conceded them. You look at the strengths and the weaknesses of the Forest team, and you learn and you play accordingly. And although you've got to go out and do your thing, you can't be totally reliant on your tactics based on what the other team are going to do. It's got to be what you're going to do. I think that's where Frank ran into problems, because he was more worried about the opposition than about us. But I think you look at the back two, the two centre backs mop up everything in the air. So he plays 2 big centre forwards and hits them with high balls. Rather than playing Simmons, who would play similar to the way Maddison does, runs with the ball, plays those little reverse passes, you know, goes through on his own, carries the ball, drives at defenders. And that causes more panic, because you create stuff. You create space once he beats the player. If other players move off correctly, then they're creating space. So you've got, if you've got an extra man, that creates uncertainty for the defenders. Who are we going to go with? Do we step forward? Do we go and close the guy down? Do we stay with the runners? And he just didn't play that today. And by the time Simmons came on after 65 minutes, the game was gone.
Yeah, you're 2-0 down.
So to me, I came out of there and on Wednesday night, and I thought that was a good performance. And when I saw the team today, I wasn't unhappy about the back four. I thought you play Spence right back because you need a good defender to take on to stop Hudson-Odoi. He completely wrecked that at half time, didn't he? He took Spence off and put Porro there. And look what Hudson.
Again, Lubo, I know you're saying you weren't unhappy about the back four, but again, this manager he never ever plays the same back four 2 games in a row. This constant chopping and changing is killing us. I
would have liked to have seen that back four kept together, honestly, for the rest of the season. Spence, Danso, Romero, Van der Ven. For me, those four, Spence is a much better defender than Porro. He is a right back. Danso is worth his place. Romero's the captain. He's not going to drop him. And Van der Ven, for me...
Can I be honest with you, though? I want to see a back four for the rest of the season without Romero. I think the guy's an absolute disgrace.
Agree.
I think
he drifts up.
Sorry, I'm gonna call it out. I'm sorry. I am sick of hearing he's a winner, he's a captain, he's a leader, he's better than Spurs, he's won a World Cup. Him today, again, Danso, superior to him today, right? By the way, that's not me saying any of them were great, but Danso fights for every ball. I'll give him that, right? That first half, that second half, right? Second half, that second half, where Romero's in by the corner flag for Sunderland, for Sunderland's half, right? And he thinks he's fouled and he's not, right? He loses the ball and he's standing there remonstrating with the ref. While he's doing that, Forest are going, I said Sunderland, didn't I? Sorry. Forest are going, right, let's attack. They play the ball through down. They're all flooding forward. I see Spurs forwards and midfielders running back. And they pan to Romero. He's walking.
We saw
He
it.
is
He is
walking. And then the funny thing is they let the whole thing pan out. Then when the attack broke down, they pan and the camera, Romero's still on the halfway line walking back. And I'm like, you are the captain. You are a centre half. Why the moment you lost that ball, did you not sprint all the way back? And you know what? It's not the first time we've seen it from this guy.
Exactly. I was about to say that. It's not the first time he's done that. He's done that many times.
Yep.
And like you say, he comes out far too much when there's no need to. This is why I rate Danzo a hell of a lot more. Because he just does his job. There's nothing fancy about exactly, Savva. There's nothing fancy about him. He's like your old school John Terry. Nothing fancy. Just does his job, gets on with it. But as for Romero, he thinks he's something that he's not. He's a World Cup winner, yeah. But he's just too much, and it comes out. You know what I mean? He's just.
And do you know what? Do you know what as well? With Romero, I hate it when people say, not you, but I hate it when people say, "Oh, but he's won the World Cup," because that's the only thing they got to go on, right?
This is what I mean.
But, and the worst thing about that is they forget or they don't like to tell the truth, because especially Spurs fans, they don't like to speak about the truth. Right, is the fact that he had the best, if not one of the greatest players of all time, who had this most unbelievable tournament in that World Cup, who single-handedly helped them win that World Cup. Yeah. Right, he was a star player of that World Cup, and everyone was geared to do it for him, just like the Spurs players were geared to do it for Son when we had the Europa League. That's why they got this inner belief. It wasn't for Ange, it wasn't for the fans, it's because they wanted to see Son win that trophy, because before he went, that's the only reason why they did it, in my opinion.
Oh, Messi won that World Cup. Messi won that World Cup without a doubt. Look, listen, I'm sorry, phenomenal. I feel a tiny bit vindicated because I've been saying this for 4.5, 5 years about Romero. He has been gassed up every year, and he has been part of one of the worst defenses I've seen year after year at Tottenham.
Great.
And every year we hear he's brilliant. He does this. He is always making mistakes. He's never in position. His man loses him every time. He wanders into midfield and just fouls people for fun.
Yep.
And then you look at Forest today. Now this is Milenkovic and Murillo of Forest. I'm not even talking about Liverpool centre backs or Arsenal. This is Forest. They've put together a back two. You know what? They just do their job. No frills, no spills. Milenkovic and Murillo just do their job. You don't see any of them flying into midfield to kick people. No one talks about how good they are on the ball. They just get it done. Romero is so protected. So protected. And yet, I was going to say game after game, year after year, this guy is part of a defence that concedes for fun. And he's great. He's great with a different manager. Oh yeah, what his 6th or 7th manager? Like, sorry for me, I would let him go in the summer, and I want to get in maybe someone who on their best day isn't as good as Romero, but somebody that has their best day every week and actually fights for the badge.
So I encourage everybody, if you want to know what's wrong with Tottenham Hotspur Football Club and the way that we concede goals, watch Morgan Gibbs-White's goal today. Right? He's got the ball out on the left-hand side. I'm trying to replay it from memory, right? He's got the ball out on the left-hand side. He passes it in, and then he just makes a diagonal run, and which ends on our penalty spot. He's not tracked by anybody. Okay, Bergvall is attracted to the ball. No other midfielder is looking and has spotted this player who can score goals, running into our penalty area. He's completely unmarked. He's got about 5, if I remember rightly, he's got about 5 meters of space around him. You know when they do those circles around them, and they're like, look at this space. He's got like huge amounts of space around him. The ball comes back to him, and he just side foots it into the back of the net. And Romero turns around and looks and goes, "Why?" and goes to tell who actually was trying to get back, if I remember rightly,
Go.
from the left-hand side, trying to get back into the penalty area, and Romero goes, "What are you doing?" Do you know what? I hate to say it. A John Terry, a Tony Adams, they are leaders. They are spotting Gibbs White, and they are directing the defence to make sure that that threat is nullified. And Romero doesn't do that. Romero's always after the event.
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, when people
Did
say
I get anything
Danso
wrong,
gets
Luke?
away
I
with
was
things-
replaying it from memory. Have I got it right?
Yeah, you got it right. When people are saying you protect Danso, the difference is Danso was bought as a backup. Danso was bought as a squad player. Romero is the one that's hyped up that Real Madrid want him, Atletico. Those fans will see through his shenanigans in games, in a couple of games. He is sorry. I'm so bored of this guy being defended, and every games like today is where I want to see switch on. Games like today, I want to see him leading, talking, cajoling.
I'm so done with him, Savva.
Yeah,
I'm
I
done with
totally
him.
agree.
I don't care.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Sorry,
but guys.
I know, Lubo, you like him, so I know you're not in
No,
agreement.
I've been disappointed this season. You know, you see a performance that Romero gave in Bilbao.
Yeah, in a one-off game, though, of course.
And you see at that level, you see that level of performance because he shone out across the whole pitch. And a player like him should be doing that, but it's his temperament. He's not mentally strong.
Agreed.
I don't believe he is committed to the club at all.
No.
Agreed.
If I was told two specific Spanish clubs came in and were quoted the price Spurs wanted, and it was more than they were prepared to pay, and he ended up signing a new contract.
And isn't that a detriment?
The worrying thing is, again, I use this guy as a barometer, and I shouldn't really, because I'm not saying I want him. But like when I watched Everton v Chelsea last night, Tarkowski is just everywhere. Like that guy,
quality
solid,
defender.
seasoned pro that will get. It's not a sexy name. He's not won a World Cup. You watch every game you watch Everton defend. Tarkowski's on the end of everything, marking his man. He'll die for the cause. Great attitude.
Yeah.
I watch him and I go,
yeah.
I'd rather you than Romero. And people go, oh, don't be stupid. Don't be. But people are judging Romero on those great games he has and not on what his consistent performances are, which is very, very underwhelming. I'm sorry. I think
also, Savva,
sorry, there's some. I do have to respond to some stuff that's going on in chat. There are people who are saying, and I don't know if they meant it with me or somebody else, saying comparing Danso to John Terry. No. What the comparison was people like John Terry and Tony Adams. You can go back to to other great defenders, right? You can go back to Ledley King, right? Toby Alderweireld used to do it for Tottenham. They were leaders at the back who made sure that threats were nullified. Romero doesn't do it. Romero, it's always reactive. It's always, oh, wait a minute, why didn't we do? No, mate, you're the leader. You are literally the captain of this club, and you're not even leading the defence and making sure that threats are nullified. He doesn't do his job, in my opinion.
I agree. You're absolutely right. It's about.
I just want new owners that are going to bring in proper football people to run the club in a proper way, and they will with a proper recruitment system, and they'll go out and they'll buy the players they need at the right time for the right money with the right wages for the right position, and build a squad bit by bit. And it's going to take years to put right the mess that we're in at the moment. Absolutely.
But the thing is, though,
5 or 6 windows.
The thing is, though, I can't see ENIC selling up, especially if we get relegated. If we get relegated to the Championship, we're definitely not selling. ENIC won't sell, because obviously, if we do get relegated, he's got to sell for a lower price than what he originally wanted. So
they'll be getting offers.
They've been having offers for a long time, haven't they?
We'll clear the debt for you. You're $1 billion in debt. We'll buy the club for $1 billion. We'll clear the debt. Finish.
At the end of the day,
you walk away, leave us with a debt. Finish. Those are the sort of offers that people, that because you're talking about a championship team.
At the end of the day, 100%, yeah.
There's a chasm in terms of everything, in terms of profile, in terms of the financial rewards, everything between the Premier League and the Championship. Why do you think it's? I saw a figure that Championship clubs were spending wages against revenue was 106%. 106%. They were making themselves, in effect, probably insolvent, a lot of them, because they were so desperate to get up into the promised land that is the Premier League. Because the money, the difference in money, you look at television, it goes down from what, 180 million to about 45.
Yeah, it goes. It's huge.
And if we go down, do the ticket prices staying the same? Am I hearing, or are they going down?
They won't sell. They won't sell them if they do. They won't. They can't sell tickets at 70, 80 quid if you're playing Lincoln City on a Friday night. Like, you just can't do it.
But this is Enid we're talking about, isn't it? This is Enid we're talking about.
But they can try flicks. But the problem is, it's the same as anything. It's supply and demand. Right now, you can sell X amount of tickets at 70, 80, 90 quid because you are going to still see, whether or not Spurs are shit, you're still going to see Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool. Right, next year, realistically, who are the big guns coming to town?
QPR.
Well, do you know what I mean? Like whichever of the
we can have new category games: D, E, F, G.
Right, exactly. But the problem is, Lubo, it's not just. Completely agree with you, mate. Like the TV revenue goes down from like 175 to like 45 or something. Yeah. But more than that, remember what we were talking about the other day, that in the Championship right now, the top spenders in terms of salary are Leicester City on 48 million a year. 42 million a year. Spurs are currently on 266.
Sorry, how much?
Spurs' salary a year is 266 million.
266. Yeah.
Right, 266. So that gives you an indication of the levels between the Championship. And now it doesn't mean we've got to go down to 42 million. There will be some players that have to stay. Like if Kulusevski isn't fit, you are going to have to keep him because it's in his unless there's anything in his contract. Bearing in mind, Kulu signed ages ago. Unless there's anything that says if we go down, you must drop 50%. We're going to be in the Championship paying someone like Kulusevski, who's injured, 150, 160 grand a week, whatever he's on. And this is the huge difference. And that's why when people talk about we should go down, that's why I'm so like, no. I don't think people quite understand the ramifications of going down. I just don't think they get it.
No, they don't. It's the other thing also is that they bought themselves time regarding the season tickets. They've extended the deadline for season ticket holders from the Tuesday after Everton, 26th of May, by I think 12 days. And it's now June the 7th.
Sorry, Luke, can I just say something? Sorry, look, just quickly. So I think this is real. Croatian football. Their official page has just posted out that Igor Tudor's father did pass away today. That supersedes football for me. So obviously I hope that thoughts and prayers with him. It's a very difficult one, right? Because we're all sitting here as fans going, hang on, don't like him as a manager, but his father's passed away, and I don't know. But
the worst thing as well, Savva, is that he's probably under immense pressure with Spurs, and then to have that happen to him as well, it's just so unfortunate. Condolences to his family as well, because it's more important than anything else. His life,
of course.
But it's just you can't write this stuff this is all happening, and it's like only this can happen to Tottenham. I swear to God, this only happened to Spurs. Look what happened to Conte. Look what happened to him. He lost his two best mates in the space of months, and then it all capitulated for him.
And you would have thought, standard bereavement leave type of thing. You're looking at Tudor, Tudor going back a couple of weeks, easy.
Yeah.
You know,
This might make
over
him wanna
the
walk
next
away,
couple of
right?
weeks.
This might make him want to walk away. Like, let's
Yeah.
be fair. If your dad passed away right now, would you really go, I know what I need. I need this shit show of a football club. Whatever you think of him as a manager, I need this pressure in my life as well. I don't know, but look, it's a tough one, right? It's a real tough one. But
It is tough. Yeah.
Coming back
3
to
weeks.
the season tickets. I everything that I make Lubo right. Everything that he's said. Heaven knows what they'll do. But what I can do is I can look at what they did this season. Yeah, this season they never responded to us losing Sonny. They had no insight into the massive impact that would have on the attendances and the revenues that they were getting from all of the South Korean fans, who I miss greatly, by the way. Absolutely amazing people. Every time I had them around us, we would interact. We all would, I speak for the season ticket holders around me. We would all interact with them. These tourist fans, and they were brilliant to a fan. They were engaged, funny, interested. They got on with us. They were asking questions. Absolutely loved them. But the club never took into account the drop off in South Korean fans that we would have. And I bet you, right? If we do get relegated, I bet you the club and Lubo, we've had this membership thing, where you can't get a ticket without a membership, and that's been dropped. And now now you can get 4 or 5 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
They're very, very reactive.
They changed that,
and I bet you they will underestimate if we do go down. I bet you they'll underestimate the impact on season tickets.
Rain. They bought Yang. They probably thought he'd come through a bit quicker than he did. Seriously, to keep those fans on board.
Did you say they've changed it again now? So you don't have to have a membership to buy a Spurs ticket?
Yeah.
Oh, they've changed it again.
Somebody bought Yang. They can't get a game in the Championship for 2 football clubs. Like you've got to ask questions as to.
He'll be our starting winger next year.
Listen, Alfie Devine at this rate is going to be our playmaker next season in the Championship. Listen, we'll have Ashley Phillips at centre half. Alfie Devine. Brandon Austin will be our goalkeeper. Honestly, Sosa's going to be the left back. I'm truly worried. As much as people can say, "Don't worry, we've got games." I've been hearing that for about 15 games now, and we're not winning any of them. Like, we're not winning any games at all right now. So I'm truly worried. And Takai, we got Takai as well. God, no, is Takai injured?
He's out on loan, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
got no idea.
He's the country, isn't he?
Did he go out to Germany?
He went to Germany. He's playing abroad, isn't he, at the moment?
I'm still not sure he exists. Somebody's going to have
to. I've never seen him. Guys, I'm going to do some super chats and then wrap up. We have got Dorrington as well, people. And Will Lancashire. Don't worry, we're sorted if we go in the Championship.
Don't forget Jamie, boy.
Anyway. By the way, just a quick 2 minutes. We probably should, just for a little bit of feel-good factor before I do the super chats. Yeah. At least Arsenal didn't win the cup today, right?
Hey, happy days.
Do you know what I mean? I know I know we're clutching at straws here, but at least Arsenal didn't win and get over the line.
I will clutch at any straw possible if it means Arsenal bottle everything. Give me all the straws possible right now.
And who would have thought a left back would have been the scorer for the 2 goals?
Yeah, but the way City played, he's never actually at left back, is he? But listen, now when Lubo's trying to force these narratives down my throat of our young players, now O'Reilly, now that's a good player. Now that's a player I go, yes, there's the hype. But hey, that's just me. Guys, let me do some super chats and then we will wrap up. And then it's going to be the content for the next 3 weeks, guys, is going to be real hit and miss because there are no games. We'll try and bring you some international stuff. I guess I'm going to be on the Spurs 5 tomorrow night. But other than that, not going to be too many evening streams. It's going to be very weird. 3-week international break. This might as well be a summer transfer window. It's ridiculous for us YouTubers. Big up to David in Cornwall. He said, Savva, come down to Cornwall. I live in Newquay. We have some great beers. I love to talk football. Get the guys and Sean. Come on, you Spurs. Sure, I'll pack everyone up and we'll all get down to Newquay for a few beers and some football chat. Thank you very much, David. Really appreciate you. Big up to Freestar Reds, who said Morecambe and Wise from Spurs today, Enoch and Hernia. Oh, God, he's a Forest fan. Well done. Yes, you fully deserved your win. Can't say you didn't. Can't blame refs. Can't blame PGMOL. Just you were better than us and you deserved it. Big up to you. Big up to Simon. F1967 says, starting to think Tudor has been shooted in to take us down, or Stelios has been in his ear. The real worry is we have less ideas than games left. Simon, the real worry for me is this manager in 7 games changes his formation every single game. How are these players meant to get any consistency, and how are they building any partnerships? It is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Big up to you, Simon. Really appreciate you. Big up to the Spurs syndrome. How you doing, my man? So the players are failures, the manager is a failure, the board and owners are failures, and change for Tottenham yet again get it wrong. Enoch out. Look, I just want to say as well, look, I don't agree with what Change for Tottenham did this week, but I like the people who run it, right? So it's nothing personal. I just really don't understand what they were aiming for today. It felt like, if anything, this should be done on the last game of the season if we need to win to stay up, not 8 games to go in the season. It just felt weird timing. And the players can tell you as much as they want that it worked and that they were super happy, but it did nothing to make them play on the pitch, did it? So I'm not sure what they were aiming for, but hey, it is what it is, and each to their own. Big up to you. Mike Oxlong said, Stell and Brian Daigle are bad fans. I agree. The worst. The worst fans, Stell and Brian Daigle. Just kidding. What a silly thing to say. They're not bad fans. They're good fans. They want the best for this football club. Maybe you should try it, and you've come back in. What else you said here? We can't keep sacking with Tottenham hot seat. Sure, but we're in a relegation battle and we're with a manager that's not picking up points. Like you, at what stage do you act then? How long do you let this go on? This 3-week period, Mike, is surely when, if you're going to do it, this is it. Surely if you're going to do it, this is it. But each to their own, Mike. Big up to Dean Law with a super sticker. Thank you very much. Really appreciate you, Dean. Thank you very much, buddy. You're always very generous. Jim Bird Coys, who was one of the first ever members on my channel 25,000 subscribers ago. Big up to you, my man. Said, can't see us getting another point. Championship, here we come. Agree, we don't deserve this, but the club does. Never been so disconnected with the club. Listen, I can't disagree with any of that. I at the moment, I don't see. I can see us scraping a couple of draws. I just can't see a win. And I've got to hope, deep down inside of me, I've got to hope that they just get a win randomly somewhere, like Chelsea away or Villa away. Do you know what I mean? When it's least expected. Because at the moment, at home, we are literally 3-point lane. Everyone is coming to Tottenham and going, yeah, we'll have 3 points. We'll have 3 points. It's so easy to win at Spurs. Big up to you, Jim. Thank you very much. And last but not least, Andy Lester. I said, jam and Bovril sandwiches at halftime next season. I'll tell you what, mate. You keep knocking me for my jam and Bovril sandwiches. Try it. If anyone has not tried it, this is a lovely sandwich. Just a bit of advice. Don't go too heavy on the jam, and definitely don't go too heavy on the Bovril.
And don't do ravioli on toast either.
And don't eat ravioli on toast. It's absolutely disgusting. It's up there with jelly deals and sardines. Guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight. Unfortunately, one of these days we'll do this and we'll have a Premier League win. One of these days.
Might have
Guys,
to wait
I'll
a
be
few
back.
years for that, Sav.
Oh, God, genuinely, can you imagine, right? Just quickly before we go, if we don't win another game this season, we will have gone 20 games without a Premier League win. 20.
That's crazy.
Like that
crazy.
is absolutely crazy. We are
I don't
one
even
game
want to
away.
think about it.
We are one game away from losing 38 in 70. Like that is true. But don't worry, the players are better than we think, apparently. Guys, it's been absolutely brilliant tonight. Thank you very much. We've still got 1,000 in, which is absolutely crazy. Let me see if anybody in the Spurs affair is live. Where are we? Customization, redirect.
While you search, just following on to what you said, Sav, about why did they do this, the parade? Because I'm sure Lubo agrees. Even though we're not winning games at home, every game I go to at the start of the game, before we're let down, the fans turn up.
Yeah,
inside the stadium.
Yeah. And it just gets quieter and quieter and quieter, doesn't it, as the game goes on?
Exactly.
Exactly that.
But this only goes to heighten my theory that this is not to do with the fans. This is not to do with any. This is to do with the players not being good enough. This is to do with the whole thing is a shit show. But listen, I'm not going to kickstart this again because I do need to go. Yes, and somebody did earlier in my stream call me the purveyor of doom, and then Spurs went on to lose 3-0. I'm not sure how many we have to lose in a row before my negativity actually gets called reality.
Savva, I just want to say,
is that a new Marvel superhero?
Yeah, the purveyor of doom. Yeah, it looks like this. Looks like this guy. Yeah.
I want to say one thing, Savva, as well, mate. I think all of these problems at Spurs is all your fault, you know? Your fault, mate.
I know.
Just remember that.
I know.
Not
Enoch, not the managers, not the players, you.
And just remember.
So can I just say, Sue Smith, you're 100% correct. The away support are superb.
I've got.
No
doubt.
And if you're part of the away support, come up and say hello. You'll see me at most games.
If you do see Lubo out, he's nice in person as well. If you do see him, he is nice.
Yeah, and he does bring his ravioli toast with him sometimes.
No.
Yeah. We could do a couple of member shows this week, Andy. We've got no. I don't even know. Like, does anyone know when are the internationals starts? Anyone know?
I don't care.
Friday, I think. Is it Friday?
I don't know. I feel like we're going to have
weekend, isn't it?
Some dead YouTube weeks. Anyway, guys, girls, much love. I am going to go. A big fan of pork belly, by the way. My missus hates it, but I love it. Anyway, much love. Yes. I keep going to leave footwear to the purveyor of doom and good. Do you know what makes me laugh about this, Ryan? And what makes me laugh about this is it doesn't matter how wrong all these people are that say just be positive. They still think I'm negative. I'm still waiting for Spurs to win a bloody game in 2026.
Savva, before you go, one more thing. Just one more quick thing. If Spurs go down, I think you need to make an additional channel and you need to call it Food Heritage TV. Or you need to get into the food channel.
Sure.
We seem to have better conversations about food than we do about Spurs.
That's because everyone likes food and not everyone
exactly.
likes Spurs.
You're missing the trick, mate.
Guys, I think England have got one match Friday, next Friday against Uruguay. That's it. One game.
England are
Sam,
playing
just
what?
one last thing.
They're playing Uruguay next Friday. I think that's the only game they're playing.
Who cares?
So why is there 3 weeks off?
You've got the following weekend is the FA Cup.
Right?
Yes.
We don't play.
FA Cup, we're back.
That's it. Yes.
What am I going to do for 2 weekends?
So go. You should do a podcast from Bromley's ground. How about that?
I'm going to Bromley. When are Bromley playing? My Bromley are top of the league and absolutely flying. Our Bromley. Spurs will be playing them in 2 seasons. Don't worry about that. Right. No more. Who was I sending you all over to? Here we go. I don't know if anyone was live. Can anyone see anyone that's live?
I don't think so.
I'm going to send you over to no. Ransom Bants isn't doing a football show. God knows what his show's about.
I don't know.
Last word on Spurs don't open up to let people to send over.
They don't. Yeah,
I'm going to send you to. I'm going to send you to Northside, who's an Arsenal fan. Just when you get there, just say Savva raid. Anyway, much love. Take care. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm sure people will want to talk about this some more. And as always, Enoch out. I'm not even going to say, come on, you Spurs. Just Enoch out, and Enoch out.
Enoch out.